What's up, guys? I've been having a lot of issues with this computer, so let me know. Is the audio, video, all that crap good? What's up, Mick Ranger? Marco, Todd Car? Looks like that's all that's here. Scooter's here, half empty. What's up, buddy? Just read the description of the live. I don't remember there being a description, Stevie. What did it say? You got me scared. I don't know what it said. Now I gotta look up my own live stream to find out.
No, there was another one.
What the description is. Shit, I don't know. I can't say it. What is it? What's the description? I remember I named it my new favorite thing, but I don't remember a description, just a title. And for those of you who want to know, Maddie, you shut your fat mouth. I'll have no smart mouthing from you. This is my new favorite thing. This wallet that Terry made me. I'm not a leather connoisseur. I'm not a Mr. Fancy Pants. So there's things that I can't speak on that I don't know anything about. I just know the design of this, for me, is fucking perfect. I like it because of these corners being cut off and I can access my cards. And these middle two pieces of leather are a little stiffer, so it's not, it's still plenty flexible, but it's not floppy. I absolutely, positively love this wallet. It's the best wallet I've ever carried. So there's that. As you can see, it's got one slot on the back, 2 slots on the front, plus a little place to put some cash if you need to, or you can put it wherever you want. Love this wallet. So yeah, there's that. Y'all get you one. I'll have no smart mouthing about this leather company. That y'all own dozens of knives. You can own a couple of wallets. And just be upfront with y'all, the reason why I haven't been here. I've got to have some dental work done. I misplaced my dental fixture. Pretty embarrassed about it, but here I am on camera. What up, Javon?
Hey, buddy.
Did you see what I was just showing?
No.
This wallet Terry sent me.
Oh, yeah. Hold on a second. That was a late. I got to turn this volume off my TV. I did see the wallet.
Yeah, man. This thing is badass, dude. It's got 2 slots in the front, which will hold more than one card, but there's 2 separate slots. I don't have to dig through picking at which card's which and try to get it out.
I don't see how you sold that.
For me,
it's almost perfect. Like origami.
Yeah, and it's my favorite. That I just call it that Red Wing boot leather. That worn, darker work boot leather that I love.
Right.
Yeah, he knocked this out of the park. I'm not going to price them. I don't know how much they are, guys. But like I said, I'm all about being loyal to our buddies and supporting them when we can. If we can own 50 pocket knives, we can own a couple of wallets. So no competition there. That just happens to be. I kind of told him what I wanted, but I wasn't specific. But he nailed it.
See, that's one of the greatest things too about the handmade stuff is I love to give the maker, and sometimes they don't feel comfortable with it, but I'm like, just go with what you think looks cool. The fact that you made it and had some input in it is going to mean more to me than if I said, well, I think it'd look better like that. Cause I don't have any business a lot of times putting materials together, thinking about how they're going to look. Cause I just don't see like that. Where usually the end product looks so much better if I just say, do what you want to do, buddy.
Right.
I want it to hold this many cards, make it so.
So this thing's still not working. Can y'all hear me? Because my screen's froze.
You're frozen, but you sound clear as a bell.
I don't know what's going on, man.
It's just a little bit of lag. I wouldn't worry about it because your voice didn't lag.
Okay.
What's up, Mad Yako?
That's not true, Patina. That's my formal wallet. Weddings, funerals, got to go somewhere nice. That's the one I carry. But that's my point. We all got different knives for different occasions. A lot of guys got different watches for different occasions.
Speaking of different knives for different occasions, you know, I go by and see my buddies at Knives and More, right?
Right.
And they'll let me on Saturday afternoon review a couple of knives, and I'll let them pick them out. And they've got a couple of Benchmades that they're one of the only dealers that has it in stock.
Right.
Are you familiar with their water series?
I think I heard something about it. Wasn't that something they tried to launch during COVID?
I think so. But
Yeah,
they've got some fillet knives, and they've got this folder. They've got a full-size Adira. This is the Miniadira. But this is not just the Miniadira. This is not a gold class, but it's a limited edition Miniadira with this Bifrost Damasteel blade. And this, what is it, GNS Sons? What's that company that makes the really good G-Carta and really good micarta?
GL Hansen.
GL Hansen. So these are some GL Hansen fabric. I didn't realize that they took fabric, resin, and G10 composite to make it tougher.
Yeah, it is tough stuff.
When I read the description, they say it's a fisherman's knife. And guys, I don't see this. Even when you buy the regular, not bougie one for like $220, Benchmade made it with MagnaCut because they wanted it to be a stainless steel boating, rope cutting, because you can get it in semi-serrated too. And I've never given Benchmade since I first started collecting a second look. And I'll be honest with you, it's a beautiful knife, but I could not bring myself to drop this kind of coin on a Benchmade.
It's a lot of money. That looks like I'm trying to think, who designed that?
You know, I think it's internal. I don't think it has a design. I'll have to look.
Well, that little thumb wrap reminds me of Bob
Terry Terrazola.
Yeah, it looks like a Terrazola blade.
One thing that's really good is where this thumb ramp is or this finger area here, and where this choil is.
Yeah.
It is a lock. And the idea of this knife, the folding version, because most of the water series are fillet knives or scaling knives.
Right.
But this one, it's designed, and if you look at the handle, it is very ergonomical. So if you get this in Grivery and MagnaCut, I think it's, Benchmade price, $220.
Yeah.
But also, I haven't reviewed this. I've got to do it tonight. Check that out. That's a LUDT, which I learned stood for Large Underwater Demolition Team. Is that what that stands for?
I'm not sure.
Dude, this
I
thing
know they're bad about the spring breaking.
They could be, but it kicks. I can see why, because it kicks to where a ProTech seems kind of light. I mean, that thing comes thudding out. I don't even want to hit it that many, but this one's got a blue blade.
If I'm not mistaken, when the spring breaks in that, I think it just becomes a button lock. I think. Because I know Bama Knife Guy had one and the spring broke in it. And I think he didn't send it in because it just turned into a button lock.
Well, it's got a perfect blade fuller for flicking.
But hey, I wanted to show y'all something. since John forced us to get into knives, talk about knives tonight. Give me just a second. I want to show you something. So most of you saw, I'm assuming you saw this.
I love that.
Javon's fret. Now let me show you something that I didn't show on Instagram, and I've got it as dark in here as it can get. This is just a screen light.
It looks like two eyeballs peering out at you.
Well, it's glow in the dark.
Oh, I know, but I mean, it's
The other
bright.
side's still pink. It glows almost a bright white because I added so much glow powder to it. But I didn't show that on Instagram. I was going to make that kind of a surprise. The liners do not glow, but the pins do.
But
So
what you
that's
did to
something
the top of that blade changed it 100% for the better.
You know, it kind of makes it look. It kind of gives it an arrowhead look.
I like it.
I like
'Cause
it.
I wanted it to be
much
tall
more.
and thin.
For those of you who don't know, this didn't used to be here. This
I've got
was
pictures of
kind
the
of a
OG
rump.
one.
And it just, I don't know, your thumb just felt kind of lost. But this is so locked in, dude. And with that tall, skinny, full flat grind, that thing
I like
should be
that.
absolute. Yeah.
That'll be a cat food open mother.
That's what Stevie said.
Well, I've got, she's sleeping over here beside me. But that's beautiful, dude. I mean, I've been watching that come along, and it does look absolutely phenomenal. I can't wait to check it out.
I haven't been going live from the shop so much because of what I've been doing at the shop. I've literally been stripping knives back down, like finished knives that
I thought that you might be redoing a lot of those knives just because after what you immersed yourself
It's not
in.
that there was anything wrong with them. They just, if I had the knowledge that I have now and an extra 30 minutes per knife, none of this would be necessary. But I just realized I've got all stuff up there.
Well, I think it says a lot, not just to your character, but to your craft, that you had so much opportunity. And I was pushing for you to show those knives, and you were just like, I just don't think it. I think that I've got a few things to do. And then we talked afterwards about why and what. And I think it's just a smart way to reevaluate. And like you said, it didn't take a reinventing of the wheel. It just took you not realizing that you had to rush to get to that place, picking up a few tips at that place that helped you refine the process.
If they had all been refined like this one, I would have had no issue. I would have been super proud to show everything.
I need to pull up. I don't know if I've got it on my computer, but I've got the fret that I had at Blade Show that I was getting ready to show. And I mean, it didn't look bad at all. It's just night and day after Shane worked it.
Yeah. I've been enjoying myself, man. I haven't been rushing myself or stressing over getting, a dozen knives done to take to Blade Show. That was all a huge mistake.
But it's going to be part of your.
Kyle kept telling me it was a mistake, and he was right.
But it's going to be part of your growth, dude, because you're going to have to. There are going to come times for shows where you're going to want to probably next year be involved either as a heavily loaded attendee or probably have a table, and you can talk to Scuba Steve or a lot of those guys. They're all jamming it up right till the end. Even people like Kevin who have knives coming in who are just going through QC and all of them. The ones that they're going to take.
Right.
But that's only a once a year thing that you have to worry about. I think the trick is planning your growth the way you want to plan it and still being able to meet the demand, which you will. And I think it's all about setting expectations. Thanks,
Scotty.
The
original plan was to take 5. I was planning on taking 4 thugs and a fret for you, and I ended up finishing about 20, but none of the 20 were what I wanted them to be. So, like you said, it's part of the growth process, and then there was that whole week after Blade Show lull where I think everybody's just kind of exhausted.
Gosh, man, I haven't talked to Jacob at Very Good Knife Company, but based on all his posts, it was like he came back with COVID or with some kind of virus, but I think that was his first Blade Show to exhibit at. And I think it takes so much out of you in just moving around and interacting with people, but you've got so much
There's about 10
dopamine.
minutes there. We thought it was taking everything out of me.
Oh,
I was
dude.
really close to calling 911 that night in the hotel parking lot.
Thank God for those blue lights. They kind of calms you like they do a reptile.
It was so funny, man. I actually watched a video on why some LED lights are purple. And it explained it. It's just cheap manufacturing. They all glow purple unless they have this film on them that makes them not show purple. And your cheaper companies, your cheaper Chinese companies, that film wears off very quickly and the light starts to show purple.
But if
And
you
when I
think
saw
about
that,
it,
I remembered Ryan trolling you that
but if you
the
think
light
about
wasn't
it,
purple.
the purple illuminates the parking lot just as well within reason. I mean, but I was amazed that earlier that night that I was able to walk to that gift shop and find you some Rolaids because that's all it was. I mean, you knew what you were dealing with.
Indigestion, but man, I thought I was dying. Did you see that, Ryan?
I did see that.
Yes, and then I don't think Kathleen was here, so I'll do it again.
Hey, Kathleen. Hey, Drew, dude.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, Ryan Ellis?
John, what you up to, big dog?
Man, I'm about 5'6", 130 and feeling great.
And those are bright.
Yeah.
Oh, they're glow in the dark. Look at the pins glow in the dark, dude. They're like two raccoon eyes looking out of the woods at you.
Yeah. I know glow in the dark's kind of a gimmick. You know, it only glows for
I like it.
But it's cool. It's just a little something extra you can do.
What's up, Maddie?
Have you ever heard of a guy named Ed Martin, a knife maker? I haven't. He's out of Louisiana.
I haven't.
But it's one of the lines that Knives and More carry. It's just a simple. This
I like
is the Bushcraft series. It's called The Hitchhiker. I like the name, but it's just a micarta handle, no liners. S35, flat grind, and I think he's selling this little knife for around $265, something like that. And he's got several. I mean, I'm learning that there's so many people that make knives, and one thing I like about what he does is he wet forms his sheaths. I don't know how that works, but it makes a difference because my sheaths that I don't wet form, they get that look.
That one's wet form, buddy.
That one's, dude, that's insane.
That? No, that's Lancelot. Yeah, that's wet form, by God.
That's why I call him Master Yoda. I mean, that's insane. I mean, does that take heat too? I mean, it's water and heat.
I just soak it in water, and then for about 30, 40 minutes, I just keep pushing it down, then let it dry.
So you wet formed it. It came to you like all of our slips that we get from Joe.
Oh, okay, I wasn't aware of that.
Yep.
Yeah, super cool. That's cool that it's something you can do yourself.
There goes the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Calhoun Lee.
Oh shit!
What up, Coon?
Now I have to wrangle 3 Alabamans in here.
That's right.
We've got a Georgia fan, an Auburn fan, and an Alabama fan, so we might as well be all over the country.
We might as well have a gay in here too.
And I've got the national champion fan here, so y'all can suck it.
Yeah. You give the puppy a shot at the new slip. Oh, he's asking if you let that puppy chew on that new slip.
Kathleen
No,
said
this
she's
one
wet formed some couple
stays
of
way
sheets
up
the
out
whole
of the way.
time.
I've got Terry also sent me a slip for my ABW. I don't have it here handy at the moment, and I turned the lights off. I'll trip if I try to get up and walk around. So, but it's very nice too. But man, I'm so I told Terry, I was like, man, I'm not buttering you up, dude. I don't want you. If there was something wrong with it, I'd tell you. But this is everything I wanted and more. This worked out absolutely.
So is it
perfect.
stitched together or does it fold apart? It looks like it's folded up. Okay, I thought it was. So you can just slide your cards in there, slide your cash in the back if you want.
Yeah, and like I said, the thing I like about it is that there's separate slips. So instead of having them all in one slip, I constantly have to pull them all out and find what I'm looking for. With this way, my driver's license there, my VA card is in the slip behind it, my debit card's in the back slip. It's all right there handy.
And it's light and it's thin. It makes a difference. That's one of the major causes of back pain in elderly men is sitting on their wallets.
Yeah.
If you drive a lot, it's
maybe a millimeter thicker with the cards in it than my Lancelot slip, which I still have and still love. But it's not too thick. It's still flexible. But I like it because it's just a little bit stiffer.
Has
So-
Shane discovered
That's
a wallet?
awesome that you got that, Kathleen.
Shane, did you discover a wallet?
He did.
Yeah. Terry sent me one. What are you talking about?
Oh, I just didn't know if you retired the rubber band.
Oh, well, I had a Lancelot, or still have a Lancelot wallet, and I can never remember the name of that wallet Patina gave me. It's
So Ryan and Kyle, this is the quiz.
Open sea leather, which used to be DOS up in the mirror.
yeah. Open
Which
seal.
do you think would be more expensive to own? This mini limited edition Adira in Damasteel or SPK Lamia?
I would say
Damasteel.
I would have to go with the Lamia because I would never own that Benchmade.
Well, I mean, to me, there's no comparison in which I would own. But
Yeah, but
I don't-
that Adira is more.
no, they're both about the same. The Adira is the Adira is about the same price as the Lamia.
That
But
Benchmade
I don't
costs
know
us
the cost of Damasteel or finishing Damasteel. It does have a crown spine. And I forget the name of the company that makes these G-Carta scales, but they're a legit company. Something and something Sons.
GL Hansen.
Yeah, whatever. I always get it wrong. I don't know where the Sons come from.
You're charging $700+ and you're giving us G Carta.
That's what the reason they say this knife is part of the
$700.
water series. So this knife, if you buy it just the regular version, it's $220 in Magna Cut. But it's the way that the scales are designed. It's designed to be the perfect fishing or boating knife. It's the only folder
If it's a
in their water series.
It's a pocket knife, dude.
if
That's
it's
all
a,
it is.
if it's
But
a perfect fishing or pocket knife, or or boating knife, they sure shouldn't have put blue scales on it normally.
they're all blue, and when they come with the brown, you can get a brown set now too.
I know, but they made them like
supposed to be
water
visible.
blue. I'm like, why would you take that out fishing? and
Because
you
it's
drop
going
it,
to
you're
look like
gonna
the
see it.
water, but the lanyards are orange to make them more visible, allegedly, as it were. That's what I just read about it because I've just did a show and tell on this knife.
John, let's face it. That knife is a show off. I paid $800 for a Benchmade.
It's for a collector. I mean,
Right.
that's the only person that would buy this because it's numbered, and there are people that like Benchmade that much.
What
Just
you got
like
there,
the-
Ryan?
It's just a Manix 2 lightweight.
Oh,
This is
okay.
my boating and fishing knife.
The
Oh
salt.
yeah.
That's
you need to
magic,
throw
that
some
salt
scales on
version.
that. Is that one screwed or it's pinned?
It's screwed.
Ah,
I need to get. I mean, I work with this knife. It was in the lake with me on the 4th. Like it. I'm not going to waste any money on scales on that.
well, put some lightweight aluminum scales. You'd be
Peter.
surprised how economical they can be.
Oh, I love this knife. I love
Zach
it.
stuff coming in hot. What's up, Zach?
What
I
it
always
is.
feel so guilty because that's about my sleeping
Zach?
time. I always miss Zach's lives on Sunday.
That's exactly right. People who like that Benchmade that much. That's who's going to pay for it.
Zach, I was going to show it to you because they told me at Knives and More that you can't find these anymore, and they've got two. If anybody's looking for a ridiculously priced water series, beautiful knife.
What is that? $700?
You're close, very close for the retail price. It's $8 for retail. But again,
What's up, Paul?
What's up, everybody? Sorry,
I was going to go back and drop the voodoo statement. Stevie made fun of me, but that
Yeah,
open
okay.
seas wallet is so thin that, like, when you carry it in a pair of thin shorts, it doesn't.
Ollie,
You can't see it. It's a very comfortable wallet, but I agree with you on an everyday basis. I prefer this.
it should be the Aquadamus. It's called the Adira. And I've never read cheesier marketing material. Y'all go to Benchmade's site and click on the water series and just read their inspiration for creating that series. It's
People
interesting.
who own yachts don't mind buying an $800 Benchmade. You know,
Well, it's funny that you say that because the guy that I used to do a lot of work with, he was a big pew pew guy. who owned only Microtechs because he thought that's what was cool. And they were, he bought them because they, were in his budget, and he didn't know how to operate a manual. So I got him into Benchmade, took him down to Knives and More. And then he went just total ham for Benchmade. And I don't think back. I did. I mean, I threw Spyderco in there, but I was buying when I graduated from budget knives. It was Benchmades, it was Spydercos. Didn't have any Microtechs till just recently with the Ram lot.
People who own yachts also have deck hands.
Yeah, and they're carrying Victorinox,
Gerbers.
Victorinox and Gerber fillet knives. Most of the professional deckhands I've seen use Victorinox fillet knives.
What I was surprised is if you go to Spyderco and read about their salt series, they like for their liners use what, LCN 200? Is that what it's called?
LC 200 in, yeah.
Yeah. So, on this Adira, it's only got that little bit of steel. Everything else is G-Carta because the axis lock has to have that little steel. Well, they don't specify, and I'm sure they don't use that type of steel. I mean, it seems like if you're going to make a waterproof knife, you'd at least mention the things. They do that with the Magna Cut. That's why they chose it. Now it's not LC 200, but it holds an edge better.
I know if I was going to take a boat, a knife onto a saltwater fishing boat, every time I get back, I want to spray some WD-40 in it to displace the water anyway. So, I mean, all that stuff only comes in handy when you forget to maintain it. When you're left laying there for several days. And it is great when you open it, you're like, oh, it didn't ruin it. It's fine. That is a great feeling,
but it just should make you also feel like you're not maintaining your stuff right.
We act like there aren't a ton of people who are buying off the Benchmade custom page, and there are. There's a lot of people that pay big money for that stuff because it's what they like.
Yeah, Zach, this is the one I'm talking about. The little local knife store let me bring it home and review it. Just do a show and tell on it because evidently they're hard to come by.
Hey, Shane.
Yeah.
You might need to add in the description. You click that little box and say that tonight was sponsored by Knives and More and Benchmade.
What is the description? I didn't add a description.
It talks about Wu-Tang. You've changed your musical taste, and you finally realized that Wu-Tang Clan is the best band in the land, or whatever.
Oh shit!
So we went in there and just kind of loved on you.
Clearly, I got hacked.
You just got trolled a little bit. And what you have to do is you have to go to your description, and like you said, you just put in the title. So you got to click the little more button because you wouldn't think there's anything left under there.
What's that one you got, John?
This is the other one I brought. One of the other folders I brought home is a Microtech LUT, LUDT, and it's in this real weird blue PVD, even the blade. This is a time toe. They make it in a drop point. Pretty thin, pretty intense. They also make a knife similar to this. It's a manual. What's it called, Kyle? It's not the LUDT, but they make a SOCOM. Microtech makes a really cool SOCOM really cool knife out the side called the SOCOM. But I've never been a Microtech fan. And ever since I bought that Microtech right before he screwed Gavin, for some reason now I like Microtech. So maybe I am on the dark side.
What's the price tag on that now?
That one I think I've got the box right here.
I think it's closer. It's right around 3, isn't it?
I was gonna say 3 or 350.
Normally they are. This one's 335. They're usually less than that, but still over 3. This is called the Aurora finish. So if you Google one and look at the Aurora, it's a blue, interesting color that I would not personally want. I would want the black or one of the regular colors.
Paul Mills has a good question. Is that Adira? Is that a gold class or is it just a?
Mm-mm. That's one thing he told me. It's not, and I didn't know there was a difference. Great question, Paul. It's not a gold class, but it's a limited edition, which means it is numbered. It is. What does Spydertech do when they make it and they don't make it again in the same configurations? They call it something. It's a one and done type of thing.
Right.
And it's kind of like done for the collectors.
Yeah.
Now they always seem to pick the weirdest knives. Because for the gold class last year, I think that's just an annual knife. Zach would know more than me. I think they put out one gold class each year and pick a model.
Gold class was where you could go in and design it yourself.
I think that's custom.
Maybe it is. Yeah.
Gold class is like they did the 9.
Clearly, I don't have enough money to do any of that, so I'm uneducated on all of it.
Well, again, it's like you can get a great Seiko, or you can get a Rolex or something even nicer than that. They both tell time within
Now,
a
I
few
don't think you're
seconds.
going to have any issues sharpening that blade.
I cannot wait, dude.
I don't know if you can see it, but
That's a badass knife.
What would you hit that at? Like 20,
that is.
Kyle?
What's
For it
that?
being that thin? Or would you go higher than 20?
I would need to see it in person, somewhere between 20 and 22, probably.
So be safe and start at 22?
More than
It's
likely.
already very thin, and it is high HRC Magna cut. I love that.
The grind looks awesome on it.
Yeah.
Plunges look awesome on it.
Yeah, I was really proud of the plunges too. They very, very crisp.
Yeah, I got it to open cat food bags and Amazon packages. It's not to go out and necessarily bushcraft with, but you could start a fire with it if you had to, because it's Magna Cut.
Yeah.
Manix 3 Auto by Protec. That would be awesome. I'll tell you a knife they had down there that I was
She
very
was being an
impressed with.
asshole again.
And I didn't bring it home, Kyle, but it does hit just as hard as the runt because I did click them both out. But it's the Chavez Protec.
I actually kind of
229.
want
With your hands, the Chavez 229 is such a good design, in my opinion. You know, you got the skull clip, so if you don't like that, you're stuck with it. But it's a black on black. It's just a beautiful knife.
Not to be a curmudgeon, but I'm not into autos, but I'm also not into a lot of things right now.
Yeah, I wish Protec would make the Chavez in a non-auto, but
Like a button.
yeah, well, I'd rather have a liner lock, in all honesty.
I'll tell you that that Integrity liner lock that was from the 90s, I guess, or maybe early 2000s that I saw out at that store in a frame lock was awesome. And then I saw another one that was a liner lock. And that Microtech that I saw at SOCOM is a big liner lock. The manual Microtech that's overbuilt.
Yeah.
But I like a big liner lock or a frame lock. And Protec, I don't know why they got away from that. It seems like
Everybody I know that owns an OUDT said that Microtech missed a huge opportunity making that by not making that a non-automatic knife. The OUDT would have been excellent as just a liner lock knife.
Hey, look at the fuller on it. It's just screaming.
Yeah.
Freak me out. But didn't you say, was it Lee that broke the spring, or was that a different knife?
No, I know of 2 or 3 people that the spring broke on their OUDT. It's probably the most warranty returned item Microtech has for the spring break.
Well, they also on this Generation 3, they put Torx hardware on there. So I bet you could take the spring out of it and decommission it if you wanted
I'd
to.
be shocked if Microtech would send you the spring, but I may be wrong.
No, but I mean, take the spring out if you didn't want it to be an auto, if you wanted it to be a manual.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be all that it would take for a mod to make it a manual?
No.
Tina's got a very good point right there.
Point.
That's a very good point. It was supposed to be an automatic so divers could open it one-handed.
Yep. And they will open underwater. That's why it fires so hard. Large underwater
And I bet
dive
the spring
point.
won't break for opening it underwater either. It probably slows that blade down just enough not to snap it.
True. But you wonder how many that have been sold, what percentage have been opened underwater at least once? 1%? Just to try it. I'm sure some people wanted to see how it worked and got in their pool and opened it up.
Yeah. Well, I would be willing to bet there's more divers that have done it than we think there are.
Right. 1% might
Because
be right.
divers aren't the type that would typically skimp on their gear either.
No, I mean, you're talking about stuff you're definitely trusting your life on.
Right.
I just imagine tonight Javon testing it, little bubble bath, rubber duckies, LED, and they're just firing away.
Just firing away.
It hits the bottom of the porcelain tub, snaps the tip off the knife.
I've got to deliver them back in pristine. I don't even cut paper with them. I could. He told me I could, but I always feel they're not my knives. I wouldn't want to buy a knife that somebody cut paper with.
Javon wouldn't even need the bathtub. He could just get a large pot and do it.
Yeah.
Exactly. It'd have to be large though, because it's nice large. I'd say it's 3.5-inch blade. But hopefully Tuesday night I will have fixed my lawnmower. I've watched so many fucking videos on my lawnmower, my Briggs and Stratton, on how to get it running again. Got all my shit ordered from Amazon. I'm going to go ham on it. I'll probably end up taking a bag of parts out to my lawnmower guy anyway, but I figured I need to learn how to do it.
Yeah. Saying you're right. Those old dive knives were really expensive back in the day, and now, I mean, you know, you could dive with this because it's completely rust proof. So it's weird how just a few years ago it was hard to get a hold of that stuff.
Javon, you remember those live streams that Shane used to do of changing his knife scales?
Yes.
You need to do a live stream of you working on your mower.
Oh God, dude, I'd be terrified to do that.
That would go viral because I know how you.
I would watch that.
Dude, it's gonna. Well, the two things that I looked at, and it's the carburetor is where my issue is. So, so I can get to it.
Carburetor.
They're $20, dude. You can buy the carburetor, the filter, and the spark plug from Amazon for $20. But I didn't want to have to take the carburetor out. So what happened is, when I cut it before Blade Show, it took me a while to get it started. But once it started and ran, it was good. I know I've got shit in the gas and shit in the carburetor. So then it got to where it wouldn't start. Just the last couple of 4 weeks. So I'm thinking if I put enough carburetor cleaner in there, open it up, kind of clean it out, blow it out, that I can get it to start. That's my prayer, and that's what I'm hoping for.
Even Kathleen's on board, Javon. You got to do it.
I may film it. You never know. I don't.
Film that, and then film us a detailed video on the condition of your car door.
Oh, my car door has gotten worse, dude.
What's been open for 2.5 years?
What tickles me is that you can see the speaker from outside the car.
And you know what's even wilder about it is that speaker still plays. I thought I was hearing things. It still kicks it. I mean, it's just, wow.
You just have to, if you just took the outer skin off of a door, but left the insides, the power window track, everything intact, that's what it looks like.
It looks like a skeleton door. It's definitely a skeleton door. But what's interesting, when I was in 6th grade, they were still raising men to be men, and we had a class called shop. Yeah. And we would spend, we would take apart and put together a little, what are they called? 2-cycle?
Yeah.
I don't even know what they're called, but we would work on stuff like that. But when you're in 6th grade, you don't retain that stuff because that's before you go to high school and drink that brain cells away. But I've watched enough YouTube videos because once I watched that first one just to see what they thought, and there's only 2 things it could be, the spark plug or that.
No, it could be the magneto on the flywheel could not be creating spark.
But the what now?
Magneto.
The magneto.
The magneto
that creates the spark that makes the spark plug fire.
It creates the electricity that fires the spark.
But you would feel that in the pool, wouldn't you? Probably.
No, forget I said that, John. That's very unlikely that that's what it is. I'm sorry.
Wasn't that a Marvel character?
Yeah.
Magneto.
But what like YouTube does, it starts flooding you with different videos.
But I have had to tear one down and sand it, because it wasn't getting contact.
Well, I can promise you that it will be folded up with a bag of parts, and it'll go out to Fred, who lives about halfway between here and Tennessee, and I need to go to Tennessee anyway. So I'm not going to do any sanding or even get into the only thing I'm getting into is a carburetor.
Yeah. Shane just sent Javon down another 6-hour rabbit hole.
I didn't mean to do that, Javon. I'm sorry.
Hey, no, hyperfocus is good for me, dude. I'll watch it.
My screen just froze again.
You sound fine.
There you go. There you go. You're back.
Is it flooding or not? Fatina, don't just leave it be, buddy. You're gonna do the same thing I did. You're just gonna get him. You're gonna put him in a worse position.
It does flood after I start it and try to start it a bunch, and it doesn't start. I smell it. So I've got this thing figured out, man. I've even brought my little clamps so I can clamp off my fuel line if I want to go ahead and drain it.
I've got this thing figured out, but the thing still won't run.
No, well, I haven't executed any of the knowledge that I've been gathering for the 4th of July weekend that have kind of really feel like I should just go apply for a mechanic's job at a small engine shop. I've watched so much, but I'm going to prove it on mine.
Being that
Problem
it
is
is
they
4th
don't
of
fix
July,
any of that stuff anymore. People throw that shit in the garbage. They're working on hydrostatic mower transmissions and
I've got E&G envy. You know, he's got one of those high dollar commercial mowers for his yard that's like a Roomba.
yeah. Well, I mean, E&G lives
Runs
next.
all GPS.
He lives next door to Bill Gates and Elon Musk.
He's down there close.
Yeah.
Have you been following the
It's
Brendan
a light
Schaub?
model mower, John. It'll even have a low oil sensor that'll cause it not to start if it's not full of oil.
I checked it. It's low, but it's got oil in it. And so did the guys that were checking them online. They didn't seem to worry. I could put some oil in it, but that's another ingredient. I'm not fucking with a bunch of ingredients. Even though you don't call them ingredients when you're talking about mechanic stuff, but I look at it as an ingredient. I'm spraying shit in the carburetor and hoping it goes.
My thing with a lawnmower, anytime a lawnmower wouldn't start, first thing I'm going to do is throw a $2 spark plug in it.
all right.
Because 9 times out of 10, a good spark plug will make up for a bad carburetor.
And I've got a spark plug coming, and I can easily do that. But they said the first thing to do is spray through the air filter to see if it runs for just a second. And if it runs for just a second, the starter fluid, it tells you the spark plug's sparking. I don't know if that's true because these are YouTube people, and we all know YouTube people are just blabbermouths.
Well,
There you go, Patina. Just when you spray that carb fluid in there, just go, since it's 4th of July, just throw in a couple black cats and get it really cranking.
I'm just talking a little. They just show a little squirt. You blow a little squirt in there, and you see if it starts up for a second.
yeah. All that is aerosol alcohol. That's all it is. It's alcohol under pressure.
And I would never. All the videos were showing them breaking the carbs down. There's this little copper stem in there that they take out with the screwdriver. And then I've got on Amazon and saw that they had the whole carburetor for $20 with spark plugs and an air filter. I was like, too easy.
That's the best advice given all night. That's what you need to do. Take the spark plug boot off, stick your finger in it, and pull that cord real fast. That way you'll find out if it's firing or not.
If I pee myself,
There's one thing that's hit hard too, man.
Don't huff either. Don't huff gasoline.
oh yeah,
either. Ooh. That's the highest I've ever been when I was a kid, was huffing gas. Luckily, I only did it one time. I'd be even stupider than I am now.
I huff some stuff, but never gas. But I can remember from the time I go on trips as a kid, I love the smell of gasoline.
Kathleen,
love
I'm
the way it
about an hour and a
smells.
half from Javon. And I could work on his lawnmower if he had it up on a table chest high. I can't do anything bent over or squatting down.
It's really, I mean, it looks like it's meant to be worked on. I mean, and I've watched videos on mowers that are a year before mine, the same year, and luckily mine doesn't have the linkage. It's a choke linkage that runs across from the right wheel across where the carburetor is. Because then what gets tricky is when you're taking the carburetor off is those pins you've got to pull out or the rods. But mine doesn't have that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a yard cutting son of a bitch come Wednesday. Hopefully Tuesday before my live stream, I will have a cut yard and I'll be victorious. Probably not. I'll probably be beat down.
Next Monday, Javon's going to have jeans, shorts, boots, a tank top, and he's going to be working on a landscape.
If you guys PayPal me the gas money, I'll drive up there and video Javon's yard Wednesday uncut.
Believe me, I'll video it.
Whatever y'all want to do.
You'll be able to tell because when I do my pictures on the front steps, if you look before Blaze Show, that shit was high, man. Like Billy Goat wouldn't have walked in there. It would have walked in next to.
You can't see the going down the stairs. You can't see the left-hand handrail anymore.
I've trimmed it back. It back. Yeah, I did. Only where it was coming through the little lattice.
Yeah. That's awful.
Yeah, when it's rain lawnmower 1, Javon 0. Richard, you got to have more faith, buddy. I need positive thoughts thrown in the universe.
But I'm about to have I've got fret number 2. It's not the same scale color, but I've got it finished. About to have several more finished. I got to sell some knives, guys, because I've got to come up with about $1,400.
Did you still have a thug that you're going to send up for me to do a film on?
Of course I do.
Awesome. I'm in no rush.
I keep saying I don't want to send one until I've got them all, until I've got everything ready, but I'm really close.
Ain't no rush, buddy.
Yeah.
I just don't think that'll be hard. Then you will show them off when you got some ready Friday night.
Right.
What all knives you got ready, Shane?
Well, it depends on the level of ready you're talking about. I mean, I've still got all those thugs I took to Blade Show, but I'm one by one redoing them to make them a little nicer before I sell them. Some of them I'm grinding the scales completely off and starting over. It just depends on how unhappy with it I was. But they're in different states of ready at the moment. So
I feel you.
but I've got that one really nice crewwear thug ready to go. I put it on Instagram. I hadn't got any bites on it yet, but it'll come.
When'd you put it on Instagram?
I was about to say, put it up here. Let's see it.
I'll share that son of a bitch. I haven't seen it.
The one laying on the rusty tin.
Well,
Y'all locked it, but hang on, I'll find it.
I see one.
That one.
Oh yeah.
Is it several posts down? Oh, here, this one right here.
Yeah.
Put it on my. Oh.
I've almost got Andrew Lyons' stug done. I talked to Brian F. a couple of days ago. I've got a handful of knives coming back from him. He just ran out of time. He's been very busy. He was busier this spring than he thought he'd be. So a couple of them I'm going to have to finish myself, which I don't have an issue with at this point. I'm much more confident in my scale finishing ability. So, but so I know I've still got both of you guys. You guys have joke wolves coming, so
You're joking.
no. All USPS prices are just. What are you talking about?
Yeah, priority rates are going up by almost 50% next week.
Oh wow.
Why is that? Tariff?
No, it's just because they're government workers and they need more money, apparently, because they lose billions of dollars every year, the USPS.
Well, pirate ship lets you choose UPS.
Well,
They're running
I'm hoping that doesn't affect FedEx because, guys, right now I can send a box from FedEx that's 3 times as big as a USPS flat rate box for about $17. So that's what I've been using, and I haven't had any issues with FedEx.
No, I agree. And UPS is the one that comes in within $1 of UPS, and the only reason, or USPS, the only reason I've lazily chosen USPS for giveaways is because I can put it in my mailbox and they'll pick it up. I have to drive to UPS.
They've all got their things. Just pick your poison.
I've had good luck.
Last time I shipped, well, I'll say the last time I shipped, it was a while back. I had a small Sabenza that I had bought to sell, and anyway, I could see on my UPS app, I can track where the truck's at. It came right by my house, it didn't stop, and the next morning I got a knock on my door. Somebody that had that box, and I'm thinking
Neighbor.
Yeah, I'm thinking like it's somebody down the road. They delivered it to the wrong house, but no. He happened to be riding behind that truck going up Highway 11 about 10 minutes from the house, and he saw the box fly outside the window.
Your Sabenza?
Mm-hmm. And he turned around, went back and picked it up and brought it to my address the next morning.
What a hero.
No crap. That's what I told him. I said, you have no idea what you just picked up, buddy.
I bought him dinner.
Yeah. So I don't use UPS anymore. Like he said, he was going like he was going back to the warehouse. Like he threw it out. The driver threw it out.
Because he didn't want to have it. He wanted to have scanned it and make it look like it was.
Yeah, it was. I take it. It was just like, oh crap, here's another box. Like screw it, just threw it out.
Man, there's a video.
I had a UPS driver open my pain medicine. He cut open the envelope, took the bottle out, took 12 lure tabs out of a bottle, put it back in the envelope, taped it shut, and left his thumbprint in the tape.
Addicts, man.
Yeah. So not only did he lose his job, he went to jail too. But I don't use UPS, not because of that, and not because of anything I have against their service or their corporation. It's just all I have here is a USPS store. And that's the biggest fucking ripoff I've ever used.
In the store for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, the only good thing about
I mean, I get it. They have to make money somehow, but Jesus Christ, man.
do you use pirate ship, Shane?
No. We've talked about it for months. And
It lets you choose.
I've been really happy with what I'm doing right now because I can get that $17 box at FedEx. I can put 6-8 knives at a time in it and ship it to Kyle.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
Yeah, but
If I was shipping more straight to individuals, I would need pirate ship for sure.
here's the kicker. So there's this box which people don't know about. This is the priority box, but it's not a flat rate box.
That's the one most of my knives from like TRM and places look like they come from.
So the small flat rate is like $9.25 or $9.05, depends upon where it's going. This one is bigger. This is a 9x6x2 priority, and these are free boxes too. And if it's under a pound, this is cheaper than a small flat rate box, and it's way bigger. So you can get more in it, but as long as it's under a pound.
Yeah, a lot of times you're wasting money paying for the flat rate.
Yeah.
It's a lot out of it. If you were sending a block of lead, hey man, you're probably coming out on top. If you're sending one item that's super light in a flat rate box, you're probably paying too much.
Also, another thing, so those boxes are free. And here's the thing too, if you say you wanted to use FedEx with it, or you wanted to use US or UPS with it, just tape around it, or write off, or take a white piece of paper, tape over the outside of the box, it'll ship it.
And if you just cover it good with a label, UPS doesn't care.
And the other thing that's free that people don't utilize, and so I order my USPS supplies online at
I gotta grab some water, guys.
their website. These are free. These padded envelopes, you can get like 25 to 50 of them at a time. And these are the big full-size envelopes that are padded. I just get
So
these.
you're the reason they're always empty when I go in there.
Oh, I order them online. So
I order those on Amazon, blue ones.
yeah, but these are free, John.
Oh, I know. I do the blue ones just for branding. And if you measure them out to that size, you can fold them up and they'll still ship.
No, I don't use these to ship though. That's my point.
You put them inside the box.
I use these. I put the knife in these and wrap them up. I use this as free padding. So I'm buying
that's like
bubble
a filler.
wrap. Yeah, you're not buying bubble wrap or anything else. So
Good
So
idea.
you're fleecing the government. You're the reason my taxes are so high.
I don't give a shit. They're there. They already lose money anyways. It's not
I'm
my
kidding.
fault.
Kyle single-handedly bringing the USPS down.
No, what I'll do is I'll take
No.
those blue, I think they're 12 by 10s, and if the knife fits, I don't know if Ed's is going to fit. I've got to do it after this, but I'll slide it to the bottom. I'll put the measurements on the package as 12 by 10 flat envelope, but then I'll fold it up so it's a little rectangular bubble wrap thing. And one thing I feel good about pirate ship is when Lefty sent that deadlock back and it got shredded and destroyed, they paid the claim. Like $1,300.
Yeah, find one for that now. Good luck.
Well, no, that was a.
I know. I'm
sweetheart
saying,
deal.
but like,
I just
yeah.
wonder if pirate ship would. It just seems like they didn't jerk them around. I've heard if you buy postal insurance, you're wasting your money because it puts a flag on it for thieves who know what they're looking for, that it's an insured package. And
well, then
B,
USPS doesn't
Half
pay
the time they don't pay it out anyway.
yeah, I've heard they don't pay the claims.
Yeah, pirate ship doesn't use USPS insurance. They use a third party. That's
Correct.
Why they pay it out.
Correct.
Yeah, if you put insurance on it regularly, that's just silly because you're not getting anything out of that. I think there were at one point someone
Drew Dude nailed it. Look at Drew Dude's comment.
At one point someone had filed a claim and they wanted proof of a video of the package with a timestamp of the item going in the package, then sealed, then delivered, dropped off, and the person opening it up if they got it and said it wasn't there.
Yeah, I mean, who's going to do that? Who's going to be prepared to do that?
Right. So,
John, wasn't that deadlock shot or something?
No, it got what it is. You know how they have those conveyor belts?
Yeah.
It got sucked down between the belt and the gear, so it went through the basic. It would be like a car crusher.
I thought somebody was talking about a package that had a bullet hole in it.
It looked like it had been shot
Oh, okay.
because it was the package itself was so
Got shipped
beaten
through
up.
Chicago.
yeah.
But you should never ship a knife like that in a bubble envelope.
That was just stupid.
Well, in all honesty, you should be able to.
And just for protection sake, there's no reason to do that. You should be careful with that. Something.
I
Like that.
firmly believe you should just throw a bunch of knives in a box with no padding, let them rattle around and melt them to call.
Have a few poking out when they come in.
I've had
Well, I
that.
would think what I always like to do, especially if somebody sends me a knife, is send it back and then what it came in. Usually you can do that unless it's one of those little flat rate boxes. But I've got a lot of boxes here that'll fit, except for the reason we didn't have a fixed blade included in Sunday's giveaway when we gave away the concept was I don't have any boxes big enough to get them in. So they're on hold till somebody sends me some fixed blades.
Oh, you know
Yeah,
my
my
No. I'm talking about if I get some
This
fixed
episode
blades.
is not sponsored by Ben and Jerry's, by the way.
That's such good stuff. What flavor's that?
I don't know, it's my daughter. She'll be mad as hell when she wakes up tomorrow. It's
That's
American
one
drink.
salty nuts.
Oh, she'll know the difference in the weight on the container. She'll be pissed, even if you don't
Oh,
finish.
it'll be easy.
My containers are gone, John.
Oh, I know that. But even if
This
he
is
for
a
some
single
reason has
serving,
self
buddy.
control,
Just put it back in the fridge empty.
It's,
Or I mean the freezer.
That's what
yeah,
I
that's encouraging. I mean, that's encouraging that they've handled claims. I've never, knock on wood, as long as I've been buying and trading knives and sending stuff out, I've only had a set of scales from Knoll Knives turn up missing when they shipped them, and they never
Stevie's like
showed
an
up.
hour behind.
2 hours. Everything else.
That's probably the camshaft.
Everything else has made it. Now, some things took a month, but they made it.
He's so far behind. I didn't even know what he was talking about.
That
Talk about the lawnmower.
Yeah, it took me a minute to.
that fucked up deadlock was Stevie's buddy.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I think Gavin pulled a rabbit out of the hat too, didn't he? Didn't he do something to help Lefty get one made because he didn't have one scheduled?
That, and I think they worked something out because there was a big price increase difference between when it was bought and then that.
Guys, this
That's
is
the
chocolate.
kind of guy that Gavin seems like.
This
Sorry,
is vanilla ice cream with chocolate covered waffle cone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they put it together and they marketed it. I mean, so much is right there in the packaging.
Diabetes.
Ben and Jerry's sucks. It's overrated and it's expensive.
Yeah, but they used to be legit deadheads before they went nuts.
I don't give a shit. They suck.
Was it Chef Rocky's deadlock, Paul Mills? It may have been Chef Rocky's.
Damn it, Mills. Just running everything, I'm saying.
Mills, he's one of those guys that just sits there and gets the facts, though. Mark,
No, I know he's definitely 100% right. I was just saying it like low key, and he just put me on blast.
I can
he
only
just threw the
imagine.
docs out there.
I can only imagine Chef Rocky's reaction when he found out his knife was destroyed.
I'm sure he was understanding and he didn't get upset.
What?
I'm being sarcastic.
Oh.
I listened for 45 minutes to him rant about his tattoo, and I got it. I mean, if Jared used it, but
I've seen him rant in every live stream because not every person in the comments said hello. He's just a very sensitive guy. He's a nice guy, but he's sensitive.
Stevie, Kyle's waiting for his balancing device. He's getting ready to start doing mower blades, so y'all start collecting them. Off season, he wants a bunch of mower blades out there.
Like I've told people before, you have some crazy thing like that, everything has a price. If you're willing to pay for it, I'll do it. But you're better off just buying a new mower at that point because I'm going to charge you so much, it's not worth it.
It's funny when you talked about that. When I'm going through Amazon looking at my carburetors, I started seeing those little devices that you set the blade on. I guess it just keeps it balanced is basically what it's doing.
Yeah.
Right. When you sharpen it, you have to balance or a lawnmower vibrates.
And it cuts like crap. I did that one time, never again. Tried doing it by hand. No, thank you. I was sharpening right there with a stone by hand.
You know what's the worst is a Walmart cart that janks to the right or to the left and makes that squeaky noise when you're going
It's that
through.
one wheel.
Oh yeah, and it goes.
Javon, why do you care about the cart? You're not pushing it. You're riding in it.
I'm pushing it usually,
If
dude.
it works,
Right
when
in the
you're
little
riding it.
car.
Hey, I did. I used to
Javon's
have to
sitting
go
with his
there.
little feet hanging out there when someone's pushing it and jerking them.
I wish, man. I need to get one of the little drivers because I used to have to go in there and get my dad 24 packs of that Boost Plus Equate shit. But we finally started that getting mailed to me, and I just take it up to him. That stuff's heavy, guys. If you go in there and you buy 2 cases of Boost, you better be bowed up. What's up, Lancelot?
I sharpen my lawnmower blades with a can opener too. Hell yeah.
I bet that lawnmower
Yeah, how many bubble
is better
wrap?
sealed than those slip joints.
I sharpen my lawnmower blades with a 4.5-inch angle grinder, but you do have to balance them.
I just
It's
throw
really
them.
simple,
I just
though.
throw
You
them away,
just
buy new
handle
blades
something.
now.
So is it that sensitive to, like, if you can see the bevel that you're using your grinder on, you're taking off just a little bit of metal to take them out of balance, or?
Yes.
Yeah, from one side to the
It'll
other.
cause a hell of a vibration.
They'll eventually shear the
Yeah, your spindle.
yeah, it'll shear it off.
Yeah, I just throw them away and buy new ones now.
Like I said, I've got two sets.
They're like $25.
Take the ones that need sharpen off, put the sharp ones on, and
For a push mower, it doesn't matter. If it's a big mower, for sure. But like on a push mower,
yeah, mine's got 3 blades on it.
Yeah, I got a new blade. It's a single blade. It costs like $25. I'm throwing that bitch away and getting another one.
I had that same job, Tyler, and that is aggravating as shit. I'm like, dude, I'm 18 years old making $6 an hour. What do you want me to do about these fucking shopping carts?
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm pissing them all up there. You were doing it before they had the little electric thing that you hooked on it, right? Now they've got the little cheat thing that they take out there and they hook onto it and it walks them.
Yeah, that's so lazy. I remember having to push those things in the snow, in the rain, and they're out there. They have the ratchet system and they got that little automatic thing and just pushes them for them. I'm like, you lazy kids.
That's the stupidest invention of all time. Nobody needs an a powered buggy to push the shopping carts in with. But I guess it does alleviate old women coming up to you complaining about their cart. I'd forgotten all about that until Tyler said it. It just had a flashback.
Because it's got the little
Blue-haired kid
siren.
looked at me when I'm crunched down pushing 75 carts at one time, complaining about cart 14 up there's got an out of balance wheel. I'm like, what the hell you want me to do?
I'd say 30% of the ones at our Walmart here in Huntsville are jacked up. And I don't know if they get run into stuff or what gets them out of whack. But I have a
probably
feeling.
poorly fabricated to begin with.
So like I don't know about all grocery stores, but some of them, like I think I worked at Kroger's when I was like.
Y'all see that? I just pulled a Stevie. I poured half that water down my beard.
That was a lot of Yahoo, dude.
Nah, it was like a teaspoon of you.
I know. It looked like a lot though.
I honestly didn't see it, but I just succeeded and let him have it because I didn't want to do it again.
What were you saying, Kyle, about Home Depot?
That's where I found Tina at. But no, I worked at Kroger's when I was 16, and the bad thing, like I did the same thing. I was bagging and pushing carts, and back then they didn't give you hardly any hours, but you had to join the union as every single employee. And the union even back then, the dues were like $50 a month. And I remember one time I got a paycheck. My paycheck was like $7 because my union dues came out of it. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, why am I just quit. I was only there.
I remember the grocery
months.
because Ryan, the only
that's the law
grocery
of
store we had in
diminishing
town,
returns.
the only grocery store we had in town that was union at the time was Food World. Food World used to be union. But somehow they got out of it, I think.
Yeah, but I remember because they always took it out on the first paycheck of the month.
Yeah, but
and-
I knew teenagers in 1989 working at Food World making like $17 an hour because it was a union job.
Shit, we were making like $5 or $6 an hour, which was still considerably more above minimum wage than it was then. But
Did you get tipped as a bag boy? I remember tipping people that would carry my groceries
no,
out.
you
That was a long-
can't. As a union employee, you're not allowed to take tips.
Oh yeah, they weren't union here in Alabama.
I was just thinking, I bet Kyle's that kid that keyed your car for not tipping him for bagging your groceries.
No, absolutely not. Because I was a car guy, and that happened to me when I was like 17. I got so fucking pissed because I got excuse my language, but I got a brand new paint job on my car and I got keyed.
Well, you were probably a dick to that guy.
Probably, but it still doesn't deserve that.
No, but the universe provides, man. The universe provides.
Kyle
So-
couldn't sustain off his nugget diet and fainted in the parking lot.
So were you watching said faction or when they were talking about the chicken nugget eat off?
I'm not doing any more eating competitions with
Dude,
eating.
I was hoping you'd throw your hat in there because
Dude,
they're all a
How
bunch
many,
of.
how many chicken nuggets Stevie can hide in that beard?
I think
We've
they're.
never seen it.
Shane knows he's not going to win.
I think the first round was who could eat 20 the fastest, and then the person that was eliminated, the next two were going to eat 40 the fastest. So it was going to be a total of 60 nuggets.
Did y'all see my name, the caption name, or whatever, the company name or whatever?
No.
A banner.
Shane needs to pull off the comment, and you'll be able to see it again.
Dude, I ate 72 hot wings in 14
You,
minutes.
oh, that's right. It's you and who else was
I
it?
never agreed
You,
to join
Stevie,
because I've had heart surgery since then.
and Maddie.
I'm not doing
Yeah.
that.
I can't remember who all was going to be in it.
Man, if y'all are brave, reach out to OCD for EDC. I just have a feeling he could put down some nuggets.
Y'all, it's all fun and games. You have to have that quadruple bypass.
Nuggets are so delicious, though. What would slow me down on an eating contest is I've got to dip them each in mustard. And I don't know how quick I could get them in the mustard and in my gullet.
That's
No, you got to eat them dry.
Ah, that'd be hard. That's a heavy load.
I don't eat a lot, so like those contests are like stupid. Because I mean, I would be lucky if I finish a 10-piece.
My eyes are always bigger than my stomach. I'll go order a couple of double cheeseburgers and eat like half of everything I order, except for Mexican pizza.
I know I can eat a Blaze pizza in half the time that y'all do.
Now, Blaze Pizza is pretty good.
Was that the place in Atlanta?
Yeah.
That was very good. And what was the name of the
No,
burger
actually, I
place
think-
up the street from me?
If I'm mistaken, I think Ryan finished before either one of us, didn't he? Because I remember being shocked when I looked. Yeah, I looked down and you were done. I still had like a whole piece left.
I don't play.
I'm usually
Well,
the
I
last.
wasn't-
I don't play.
I
I'm
wasn't
usually
hungry the
first one
first
to
day that we got there on Thursday, but it smelled so good and looked so good that it made me hungry, which is not a normal eating time for me the second day. One more to participate.
Yeah, I'm not joining. I shouldn't be eating this ice cream, but I'm certainly not going to eat.
Everything in moderation, my man. And eating contests aren't moderation, unfortunately.
What about mushroom
Having ice
gummies
cream.
in moderation?
This episode is brought to you by Ben and Jerry's American Dream.
Did you say mushrooms, Kyle?
You're going to get copyright struck for that, Shane.
I don't give a shit.
I don't think they mind if you show products, as long as it's not somebody's creative work. Now,
Isn't
again, show me.
Why would they care that I advertised it?
Because
This is somebody's creative work.
isn't that
That's gorgeous, dude. I swear, I
Colbert's
think that's one of the
bitch ass ice
sexiest
cream?
slip joints out there. I carry one, but I don't switch it out, and I've lost all my passion for slip joints.
What are you saying, Kyle?
nothing?
Huh?
Nothing.
All right.
He's talking about your Ben and Jerry's.
Oh. I know.
Fish food's good, but I think Cherry Garcia is very good. The vanilla ice cream with the chocolate covered cherries in it.
Daddy, wait,
Shane, where's your Slippy at?
wait. Where's Ow?
You caught him.
It's in my knife box in the case. I ain't never gonna carry that knife.
Hey, did y'all see the new baseline jack that came out for $69?
Yeah, I ordered 4.
I thought it was wild to me, again, thinking as a business marketing guy, because like 2 months ago, they did the silver series for $199. I think knee jerking and coming out with the $69 version hurts the value of the overall brand, in my opinion. And they look like great knives. I've heard they're fantastically made, but to offer $69 and then $199, and I guess the scale material is different, but the blade steel was the same, if I'm
Why
not
are we talking
mistaken.
about this?
Because we're just talking bullshit while you eat ice cream.
We're talking about stuff that no one gives a shit about.
We all care about it.
Chicken,
Nobody gives a shit about that.
chicken nugget eating contest and garbage knives.
I'd pay $69 to see Javon poop on a raccoon before I'd buy one of those stupid knives.
Steve Claire,
I
that is
almost
one
tried to
thing
catch a raccoon last
with a
night.
dip in its ice cream. That's not trying to eat potato chips with a dip in your mouth.
You know, they say possums are easy to catch. If you go out and you spook them, they'll just lay there and you can grab them up.
They're not that
Raccoon-
fast anyway. I used to run one down when I was 350 pounds.
But raccoons will fight you.
Raccoon will fight you.
They don't like being grabbed by the back legs.
They don't. Raccoons don't either. You grab them by
Yeah,
the tail.
Lancelot, I think they
You grab
sold
by the tail,
out
pick 'em up,
everywhere
man.
right away.
You have to keep shaking them. If you just hold them by the tail still, they'll curl their tail up and raise up and bite you. You have to shake them.
I've told the story of when I worked in the home building business. We were moving a couple into a luxury townhouse, and there was a raccoon that was living under there because it was in the woods, but was living under their whirlpool tub. So I'd go up there one night checking stuff to see if the punch list had been done. And I heard the little door slam upstairs, and there was nobody there. And it kind of freaked me out. So I walk up the stairs, the lights are on because the power had been turned on. Open the door, and you see the toilet paper being pulled from the spool under the tub, and you see these little black and gray paws. And I was like, fuck, we got a raccoon. So I had to get one of those humane traps and set it in there with some tuna fish to catch him. And when I caught him or her and went up there to move the cage, I was getting ready to pick up the cage. His little claws came through there, man. I had to go get firewood gloves because his little rabid fucking claws were coming through there just trying to gouge me. They get angry.
Too.
I
Yeah,
got
spinning raccoons on their
a
hip.
humane raccoon trap right over there against the wall.
Y'all ever held possums by their hand, 2 of them, and hold them together? That's a sight.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, we want to try it now.
Hey, tape their tails together too, boy. They'll fight. God.
Your tails together.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
They go crazy. Hey, you ever seen those videos you put drills together
Yeah.
and turn them on? See, that's
Mhm.
what it looks like when you tape 2 possums' tails together and let them go.
They'll just go at each other.
Yeah.
I want to see this.
We need to put hashtag PETA in the description of this video.
We need to.
Yeah, I'm tight with the possum.
We need to do this, record it, and tag Pocket Metal in the video.
I dig
Javon-
my possums.
Giovanna's Jack Hanna's cousin.
I just cut him a break. I used to be freaked out by them
Stevie.
until I read about them, because possums are, if you read about them, they're probably the best, definitely the best marsupial because they're the only one, but the best animal to have around. They don't carry diseases. They eat the shitty type of bugs you don't want to have around.
Snails. You ever
Stevie,
seen
you're
one-
30 minutes behind, buddy.
You ever seen one crawl out of a dead cow carcass though?
Oh God, that'd be sick, dude.
It's on YouTube. It is way out.
Ugh.
Play the clip, Jamie. Well,
He's still a half hour behind.
yeah, that's what I was trying to tell him.
Well, he's not going to hear you for 30 minutes.
He said the only buddy I have with the deadlock is Steve Clare. So he's saying it wasn't Rocky. It is not Stevie's buddy. Stevie ain't claiming Rocky. I want to apologize for my rude comment in said faction the other night when I was throwing shade at Rochambeau. I'm in it, but I shouldn't have posted it in the chat.
Roll.
But I didn't want you to know about it.
Roll's a nice guy, but I sent him a message joking about something? Dude, he takes himself way too fucking serious.
Bullseye.
Especially his channel, way too serious.
Bullseye.
Once I realize that somebody takes themselves and their channel that serious, I'm fucking done, dude.
Mimo, that's funny as shit. Have you ever smelled mothballs? It's hard to get their little legs spread apart, I tell you. Kathleen, he could be a really nice guy. He and I have had a couple of conversations before he left the the YouTube creator group that Lefty started to go join a big Discord that Metal Complex and all those guys are in. He was trying to get a voucher so he could get in there. He's got plans.
I get it. And instead of bad mouthing him and his plans,
I'm not bad mouthing him. I was apologizing for saying what I was thinking. And it was just him and a bird. I actually thought Maddie was talking about it when Maddie was talking about that OCBX guy that's just doing stuff for clicks.
Yeah.
Best of luck in the car sales business.
They're both car sales. Metal Complex and Rochambeau.
Yeah, I did 8 years in the car business.
I did too.
That's the only, if you even look at my managerial jobs that I've had, they've all been sales related.
You'd hate me working at your car. I taught people how to buy a car.
Kathleen, I do think I don't like people being right in what feels like my personal space too. I'm sensitive to that. And that's one of the things that, and the voices act, I mean, it's
the camera angle was just a little creepy too.
Yeah, that's what Kathleen is saying.
Up at you, like gazing into your soul.
Well, Kathleen says it feels like he's in your personal space, and I can kind of get that same feeling. But he does a good job. I mean, I can't knock the quality of the content that he puts out. But see, I prefer somebody like Duty, who, you know, doesn't take himself seriously and puts out good content, and doesn't have to put out a lot.
I don't agree with everything Duty says, but I don't agree with everything anybody says. But again, he doesn't take himself too seriously. Which
Makes it endearing.
I don't know about endearing.
Well, I mean, it's refreshing is the word I'm looking for.
Put it this way. None of these knife channels in the grand scheme of things mean jack shit to the YouTube. You mean, even if you're successful in this space, you're a nobody.
You're not even a blip.
And to have the ego that you're special or whatever else, and that you're better than your subscribers because you get free stuff, this and that. That is so appalling.
I do get that feeling from Rochambeau.
And
it's so disgusting.
Yeah, if you could have seen the cringe meter at the Kaiser dinner, I don't know if it was my chemical state. I don't think it was. I think I was more attuned to the cringe. And dude, the cringe was washing over me like a goddamn tsunami.
What over you? What about me?
Well, you're above that. You're
the black sheep at the Kaiser dinner.
But that's what makes it. But you probably weren't picking up on the different, like, little strategic conversations going on around the table that I couldn't help but pick up on.
I was listening. They weren't having them with me, but I was listening.
But to me, that's just sick.
Yeah.
And I tried to have a conversation with my buddy Tri-State at the TRM booth, and all he could talk about was ways to gain. I mean, in a 5-minute conversation, that's all I got.
There you go, Dawson.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Very true. For some reason,
I mostly go to the Kaiser dinner because I like to see food. The husband and wife that run Kaiser are very nice people. I don't know if you talked to them before you left. They were a short couple. They were right over there, sitting by Bees. And Bees is a terrible MC, by the way. Oh my God. Talk about sound issues. Well, there was sound issues. It wasn't his fault.
Dude, you turn the PA off and you talk, you orate like a speaker. It wasn't a big room.
Well.
But anyways, no, it was, I really enjoyed sitting down with Lute. And is that Lute's wife or girlfriend?
Oh.
I spent a lot of time looking at his he has 2 Kaiser designs and 1 Loot design beyond EDC, and they're totally different than what he designed before. I just enjoy talking to him.
I will say this: the food at the Kaiser dinner is at least one level above the food I eat at most convention type gatherings like that.
They do
It's
a
not-
good.
It's not excellent, but it's better than what I'm used to when you have some type of big gathering like that.
Landslide, anything under 5 feet, 60 inches, I kind of think, I think Dylan Mallory's right on the cusp of being short. He's kind of average.
Is he?
Kind of average height, yeah.
God, I love Dylan, man, but it
But-
freaks me out so bad when I shake his hand.
But Lewis is short.
Where's that?
little
It's
fingers,
like shaking 3 fingers.
little
It's not
fingers,
even-
little hands.
But I love him to death. But, y'all are right, though. I mean, worldwide, Dylan's way closer to average than I am.
Oh yeah,
Javon's way closer to average than I am.
yeah. I watched a pretty wild thing on. Go ahead, Kyle. I'm sorry.
I said you just grew up in the wrong hemisphere.
That's exactly right. I was watching a thing on the Vietnam tunnel wars and how the Viet Cong had such an advantage from being little guys.
Nice transition.
Well, I was talking about how they
Oh,
use their little size as an advantage, kind of like me, a banning ninja.
That should have been
Stevie.
good.
Stevie, you are behind, brother. And I appreciate the no teeth comment, by the way, asshole.
He's just looking out for his heart. He doesn't want to embarrass you guys.
Yeah.
No, I would like to just have the pink stuff heated up in like a long coil so you could just chew through it. Like
Huh?
the pink stuff that they squeeze the nuggets out of? Just
Oh,
squeeze
yeah,
it through an
nice.
oven so you've just got like churros, chicken nugget churros.
Yeah, just one long chicken
Yeah,
strip.
and you just chomp through it.
That is disgusting.
It's all paste. I've seen it. I've seen the pink paste come out of the
It's
machine.
part. I mean, but they're so
Falls off in little
delicious.
globs, falls off in little globs and goes through the oven.
But somewhere they get shaped into those 2 distinct shapes because nuggets come in one of 2 shapes. And they're usually split perfectly in your box if you ever check.
No, nuggets sometimes come in dinosaurs.
Now I'm talking about McDonald's nugget.
Ryan's fishing to get upset about some dino nuggies, son.
You don't mess with my
They
nuggies
come
now.
in T-Rex. They come in Triceratops.
That's true, Jeffrey.
If
Hey,
what
Hey,
Javon-
a decade ago, they came in Rugrat shapes.
Yes, they did.
going back to Javon's comment, if Shane had to go to Nam, he would just duct tape Javon holding 2 chickadees to the end of a rifle like a bayonet.
I'd swing those bad boys.
Some of you people.
Man,
you see
that-
one flying through there with 2 chickadees, just whacking up Charlie.
I don't remember the source, but they had a bunch of animated like cross sections of how the tunnels were set up and how the Viet Cong had ways to close up the tunnel when the Americans would pump gas in and the traps that they had set in there. And the main thing was the Americans were on average, I want to say 9 to 12 inches taller. And the tunnel-
They're related to in penis.
what they liked for, they had to be able to creep down in there and hide out because it sounds like it was brutal.
Jesus
One thing I
Christ,
do
that
is
reminds
size
me.
of penis.
Do you remember that South Park episode when China tried to invade the United States through Canada? And they just kept going to the border going, you Americans have very large penis. Small penis. You guys are so nice. Come on in.
Y'all know about the condoms in Vietnam, right? Really, the United States military was flying over dropping condoms out of airplanes and helicopters that were big enough to fit on your leg. So that the Vietnamese thought we had these big, huge penises, and it intimidated them. That's the
I
truth.
didn't know that. That's pretty good
We
psychological
dropped
warfare.
millions of like 4XL condoms out of airplanes over Vietnam.
Stevie's about 20 minutes behind. He's not live.
I don't even think he's behind.
I don't think he's behind
He's
anymore.
not
I
behind anymore.
think he's going back and then coming back.
He's trolling at this point. He was behind the first time.
Yeah.
But instead of being embarrassed about it, now he's just running with it.
He's just rolling into it
That's said Stevie 100%.
as it should be.
Yeah. He can't do anything original anymore. We got it figured out.
Oh.
Said Stevie, I thought you were my chunky monkey.
So did everybody have good force? Did y'all go shoot fireworks or watch fireworks?
I did. We went to the lake for a few hours and then come back.
I got drunk, shot machine
Do you
guns.
go over to Lake Smith Lake, or where do you go for a lake?
Logan Martin.
Allegedly, Shane.
Martin?
Mhm. Logan Martin. It's in Pell City.
I got you.
Pell City, Riverside.
I said, Shane, you did that allegedly.
I did get drunk shooting machine guns this weekend.
Allegedly.
Oh, yeah, allegedly.
In Minecraft.
I got one right here. You
Over.
show it on screen. I wonder how much you can actually show. Oh, before they ban you. We should try it. We should just show like an inch more.
Wait,
Well, I can
hey,
tell
hang
you-
on. Before you do that, do you have any super chat money in your account?
No,
Okay.
no,
Well,
there's
then
none.
if you get banned for good, then it's okay, I guess.
Yeah.
We don't want Shane gone from the platform. We'll have to switch over to Twitch to follow him over there.
I don't even know how to. I don't know about Twitch.
I don't either. They're all the same.
I shot so much, literally the pad of my finger is raw. I'll take a rose craft.
It has been years since I've been to the range or
Oh, we was just down at the farm.
went out to where?
Down at my wife's family's farm. Everybody brought their redneck shit, so was blasting it up.
You
You know,
get a lot of
Stevie, I've
money.
never tried a rose craft, but I saw that Traditional Pocket Knives is having a drop tomorrow of new rose crafts. I get so many emails, but their email pop-ups still show up at the website. I need to get in touch with all those guys and tell them how to change their IX or UX so that doesn't happen.
I did learn what my next firearm is going to be, though. I will own a shadow before it's over with.
I told you, damn it.
What's the shadow? Is it a hand or a long?
CZ shadow 2.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
I'm going to get it, and then I'm going to send it off to Cajun.
When it's Cajunized, oh my God. Dude, that's what mine was. And they are so freaking amazing. They're the one you shoot.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can get that for about $2,000. By the time you have it Cajunized, and in my opinion, it shot better than a staccato.
So after you get it Cajunized, it's $2,000?
Yeah, they're about 1,400 new. Cajunized another 7 to 8.
It's just Cajun Gunworks does this
Mod, like
these too. They
with the
poured it, do a trigger job, lighten the slide, all that stuff.
It is a better gun than a staccato. Period.
Stevie.
He's so full of shit. He is not fine. You can tell when he's
He's out of sync now. He's out of sync on his comments.
no, he gets creative. He tries too hard when he.
Whoever's making their little animated stuff is hilarious, man. I don't know who's doing that. The Bigfoot. And,
I was
and
surprised that I got to shoot this Terran Tactical though, Kyle, and it's a lot snappier. It was a lot snappier with cheap ammo than I expected it.
Your
to be.
TTI, or are you talking about a full on?
the
Terran.
TTI.
Yeah, it's because the comp is not going to do as much.
Yeah.
it's a
I think
lighter load.
Well, I mean, I carry Spirit Gold Dots in it, so I can only imagine how snappy it'd be with that. But even with these
Stevie.
laser brass, it was a lot snappier than I expected.
Well,
I expected it to be flatter.
the heavier you go up, the less snappy it's going to be because it's slower.
Yeah.
Is it a 9?
Definitely tag Pocket Metal in that video. It'll give Scotch a thing.
Uh,
I wonder if I could drive the final nail in that coffin if I ever found myself groundhog hunting. Can you
That'd be-
imagine if I posted a groundhog shoot?
that'd be too much.
Would it?
Well, I mean, it would be.
I mean, I've always wanted to go groundhog hunting. So if I just happen to go and I just happen to film it, I just happen to upload it, that's nothing personal towards him.
No, but at the same time, it's one of those things that you know
I've crossed your lines line at this point.
What's that?
I said I've crossed your lines at this point.
No,
Shane,
I'm
you need
not.
to start
Again,
looking
like I
out for
said, the
ticking
only thing that
boxes and
changed
white
about
powder.
me when I got psychedelic was I didn't any longer want to hammer down. I went hunting still with people, and would drink beer, and I don't have a problem with it. And I know, like for example, my dad has a 222 still in his safe, and they used to go groundhog hunting because people had.
Oh shit, he's so good.
Yeah, I threw one out last night in the chat and felt instantly like, oh man, I shouldn't have said that.
Is anybody even checking to see if these times are even close?
No.
Because I wouldn't put it past Stevie to sit there and writing down time marks so you know when to say it.
I think there was one he mixed up that he.
He was a
Boy,
little
he's
off on.
pretty good. Well, it's hard to say because my memory's almost as bad as my dad's.
It has nothing to do with the timing. It's the creativity.
Oh, they're just
He's
hilarious.
being over creative. He's overthinking it, but it's hilarious.
I mean, that's why Honey Bucket and Said Factions just must see TV. I mean, I just sit there in silence and just fucking die.
It's good shit.
Very good shit.
I have had to stop. If I get sleepy at night, I'd push through it to watch a live stream, but now I just have to go to sleep.
See, I don't have a choice. Like I was in mid chat 2 weeks ago, communicating with people, and just clunk, I was out on the couch. 2.5 hours. Woke up, the live was almost over. I've got kind of a narcolepsy thing going on.
I drove to the shop today, walked in, took the C-clamps off of a knife, walked out, got in my car, and left.
You were just beat.
It was 115 degrees in there, dude. It was so hot I couldn't breathe. I was like, fuck this. I can't do my best work if I'm suffering like that.
And nobody needs to get that hot. Doesn't it make it harder to do everything too when it's hot?
Not really. It's just miserable. Sweat pouring down your brow, running into your eyeballs.
But like gluing up stuff doesn't have to be a certain
Now the heat helps.
Oh, it does?
That makes it faster. I know I'm behind. It's funnier this way. Yeah.
That's just funny.
Whew.
I feel like he's catching up.
He's been caught up, dude.
So Ryan, I saw an older Sabenza today. I want to say a Generation 3. I can't tell the difference in the generations. The guy was trying to show me the frame bar was a little different. Have you gotten anything since Blade Show? Anything different?
No, I've been literally working 7 days a week since then.
Are y'all making progress?
Yeah, I'm pretty much done in Mississippi.
Sweet.
Bringing the fellas back, and we're about to start in Russellville here in about a week or two.
Another same project, same kind of project?
No, we'll be back in chicken processing plant.
I got you.
Back in the wheelhouse.
Got you.
And we got some pipeline stuff.
You know,
coming up in
Sonny,
South Carolina.
Peterson Welding.
Yes,
Sonny,
I actually do a lot of work with them.
Do you really? I've always liked the shit out of Sonny, man.
Yeah, they're good people.
Yeah. He tried to give me a job a long time ago when I was young. And then he told me I was going to have to travel, and I turned it down. And damn, I regret it, man.
Yeah.
I so regret not taking him up on that job.
Yeah. Hell, you can get started doing it now, making good money.
Yeah. I can't crawl through them pipes though like that.
No, you ain't got to. They got little people that do that.
Yeah.
You just got to guide them through.
Well, Sonny has made himself
Oh, those guys are loaded.
filthy rich, dude.
They are loaded.
Well, they paid 50% to Shane and 50% to Javon to make Javon do the crawling.
Yeah.
through the tubes.
I
Hey, you kind of wired to my
I
belt
can
buckle.
totally
You kind of have to know how to weld too, just a
Yeah.
little.
Is that like soldering?
Well, actually, it's a lot like soldering because it's TIG welding.
But you've got to go to school to get a certificate to be able to weld.
You're heating both pieces and then feeding a rod into it.
But you've got to be certified because welds are like serious business.
Yeah.
Well, yes, it's better to be certified, but as long as James.
He's talking about my buddy.
Oh yeah, I got you. He would be good in some cable tray, but no, yeah, it's better to be certified, but you don't absolutely have to be.
Yeah.
As long as you got somebody certified to oversee the job, you're good.
Javon, are you
A lot of
certified
the
in
best
soldering?
welders I've ever met were not certified. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of the best mechanics I've ever met never took a test. HVAC guys.
Some of the best
I know,
musicians I've
I
seen.
know a couple of master electricians. I wouldn't let wire my doghouse up.
Yeah.
I mean, they're idiots.
What were you asking, Kyle?
Ask if you had a certification in soldering.
No, I don't, but I have soldered. Now I don't know if it was a successful joint. I don't know if the wire held.
TIG welding is probably the easiest.
TIG?
Yeah.
No, TIG's hardest.
Well, it's
TIG takes practice.
It's the easiest in practice, but I think the hardest thing about TIG is getting it dialed in. Once you got
MIG welding.
all that dialed in, I feel like
MIG welding's the easiest. You can
Aren't there
train fine
different
up to MIG
patterns, kind
welding.
of like sewing? I mean, aren't there different types of?
Yeah, you can use different patterns.
Yeah,
But
Javon,
I mean, that have different purposes, or is it just you can do a weld? You can do a weld if you're good at it.
No, you got several things. You can walk your cup and stuff like, a lot of pipe fitters and stuff will walk their cups.
I push
But-
mine.
Yeah, there's some people that push them. Like when if you're going up, going down, there's just different techniques that you can use that are just make a
Until
better
it gets upside down, and none of that shit works anymore. That's the only thing I can't do. I cannot weld upside down.
Because gravity's pulling the wet shit
I
down.
don't know what it's doing. It just everything fucking.
It's all it just takes practice. Takes a lot of practice.
When
Javon,
I was welding doom buggies, I'd literally flip them over on the roof to weld the bottom because I cannot weld upside. I don't know. My
Easier
hands
to flip it.
don't.
But if you want to practice different techniques, get a MIG welder, and it's literally you just hold a gun, you pull the trigger, and I mean you can train a blind monkey to MIG weld.
Ryan,
It's the easiest. You just pull a trigger and just.
Ryan, do you think Javon could be out there laying some beads with the soldering iron?
Kyle, you'd be impressed with one of my
It
solder
takes a
beads.
minute.
I'm gonna make a little solder man, a little golf man, just out of nothing but soldered. I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay.
Make him a little silver.
I'll take some nails and cut them down and solder them together so you can see my joints.
Yeah, but Tina, that's a little different though, buddy. I mean, if I was doing what y'all were doing, I would want to have it X-rayed too. I never X-rayed any of mine, but our crashes were at 5 miles an hour. Where your team's crashes were at 120 miles an hour. A little different. But I think all those stainless food processing, they all have to be X-rayed, don't they?
The plumbing stuff like that.
And then heat treat it too, right? Don't they come in with those?
No, not those chicken processing plants. What Peterson does, they're doing water. It's not under high pressure or anything like that. Now,
So it's just basically laying pipe throughout there. And
yeah,
doing the
now
pipe
like when
design.
you get on the pipeline stuff like that, it's X-rayed and everything. Like you got to be certified. And, like it gets up there.
Why did you have to run raw cages? Was that part of the rule book? They had to be raw?
So you couldn't paint over cracks.
That had to be a.
That's so if the weld had cracks or anything in it, the paint wouldn't cover it up.
You're not hiding your
Ah.
You'd be able to see them.
Yeah, but I'm
Before
asking.
inspection.
Was that a regulation by the race? The board that was putting it on that the cages couldn't be painted.
I don't know what did Patina do.
He used to help with like some of the Baja 500 trophy trucks and stuff like that.
I imagine that would probably be a regulation for that.
Yeah. I've never noticed that the cages weren't painted. I'm just wondering if it's a shop thing or is it a I know it's not the NRA. I don't know who it is that puts
It's-
that out.
Yeah,
If the
safety
crash
regulations.
tube can bend, then crack.
That
That
makes
was done by the
sense.
safety regulations.
I've never thought about that, but that makes sense.
Hey Shane, did you see Cam's new video?
I'll be honest, Kyle. I couldn't get into it.
It was kind of boring, but
The project. I just couldn't get into the project.
yeah, but my point was, I'm wondering if that technology that he uses for his finish couldn't be something applied to like welding. The curing.
The UV curing.
Palmer, Maddie.
How so though? How would it be?
If the substrate and the material could be set up to be where it was cured faster by,
I don't know.
that would be interesting though.
Yeah, I know. I watch another channel. Guy makes hand paints fishing lures, and he uses that same UV stuff. He just takes it outside in the sun, and it instantly cures and hardens.
I like watching those fly fishing lures get made.
Fly tying is cool.
What's that shitty ass knife you got in your hand now?
This? That's
Yeah,
that
that's an
knife I
electrician.
told you we got to redo.
That's a little splicer.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my electrician's knife.
We can beat that, I'm sure. What's some scissors?
These are the best scissors in the world.
What do you use scissors for as an electrician?
Shit, all kinds of stuff. I used to make fun of electricians that carried these things until I started carrying them. This is my most used tool.
What do you
What-
cut with it? The
But
casing?
honestly, what are you using the scissors for?
When I'm stripping wire back, the four conductor, it'll have a string in it. You cut the
Insulation.
string, you cut tape.
Oh yeah.
You can actually cut wire with these scissors.
Yeah, I guess so. I can
Yeah,
see
but-
you stripping wire with them too.
You can strip wire with them. They actually have strippers. You can do a 14 and a 12.
Oh, they're set up for it.
Yeah. You put the wire in there and then
Ken, we don't need your smart mouth in here tonight, buddy. Just kidding, man.
electrician shears. That's it.
Yeah, if you want a bad splicer, go to Very Good Knife Company. He makes some little splicers and some line knives.
What are you
Yeah,
talking
Shane,
about?
I sent you a picture of that knife, but you ignored me though.
I didn't ignore you. I
Oh
looked
yeah,
at
you
it.
did. Did you respond?
No.
You ignored me.
Okay.
Shane just doesn't get back on the same type of time frame that the rest of us does.
No, I was in a
I've come to
slump.
learn that.
I was in a slump, and anything I'd have said, I'd have been faking enthusiasm. So I just let it rest until I was ready.
Ain't nothing wrong
I
with
was
that.
about to send out a rescue team down there. Hell, I think me and Kyle had talked. It had been like 3 days since we had heard from him.
Yeah.
Shane, share that real
We're on
quick.
the
Then I
no
popped
call
off.
list, apparently.
For what?
That little screen that I got up there. I was going to show that to Ryan to compare to his.
Yeah, what steels he use on that? Nitro V?
Or 80 CRV2 or Nitro V. Hollow grind. Cool little knife.
That's exactly that's exactly what that is.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, when I saw yours,
Yeah, but it's not insulated.
is that wood or
hold on, hollow
Yeah.
grind. Let's see.
There's brass pins going through it.
you
It shot
definitely?
the shit out of you if you hit something hot.
That's a good point. I never thought about that.
Well, I'm not going to be using the knife to strip anything hot.
Well, you say that, but how many electricians have done it accidentally and hurt themselves? Anything made for electricians should be insulated.
And what do you do with a lineman knife? What's the purpose of this
It's
guy?
for stripping heavier cable, like your 500 MCM.
I don't know a
versus
single
your-
electrician that ever shocked himself knowingly cutting something that was hot. It was always accidental. Anything you make for an electrician.
Well,
should be-
no,
the matter of fact,
no,
Well,
I agree with you. I'm not saying you should. I agree with you. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but dealing with the stuff that I deal with, we don't work it hot.
Right.
There's no just getting shocked with this stuff
Because it hasn't been hooked up to the main yet.
Yeah, like it vaporizes you.
Yeah.
I catch somebody working something hot doing what I'm doing, they're fired.
You run like 480.
480 is low voltage, considered like what we do.
Damn.
But yeah, a lot of 3-phase 480. We get up in the thousands.
Did you ever see a stripper carry what, Cole? Oh, one
One
of
of
those
those,
knives.
one of those little knives.
I know a couple of strippers that carry knives. I've provided a couple of them with knives.
Shane, if you made Ryan a stripping knife like that, just put red and yellow micarta or G10 on the handle, and it'll be insulated for him.
Yeah.
This one's got like I don't know how they do these handles. It's
It almost
rubber.
looks
It's
rubbery.
just plastic dipped.
Yeah, I think it's just rubber, and then they just dip it in the rubber or something.
Yeah.
But it's like, I mean, it's formed.
Yeah.
I mean, these things are great. There's just no edge retention, and once it loses the edge, you can't put an edge back on it.
But they're probably inexpensive too, right? Or are they?
Yeah, this thing's like $20.
Right.
Well, that's still, if you, I mean, will it last you a year or a couple of years before it gets stole?
Bro, it's a couple of weeks.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, it might be worth getting a chain to make.
That's
you
what I'm
run.
saying. That's what I was telling Shane. If we could get something that would last you a while, electricians they got money and they're half retarded. They'll spend money on it.
Well, it's a tool, like you said, that they're using all the time too.
Yeah, they're used all day, every day.
That sucks, Patina.
That explains a lot, Patina.
Oh. Yeah, that'd work. That'd work, Jerry. I'm actually thinking about starting to dip my prick handles. I'm just not.
Dip your prick.
Yeah, I'm not very good at it. I mean, I can do a wrap. It's a functional wrap, but it's not, it's not as pretty as it could be.
Hey, Patina, why don't you
I
send
got a couple pricks for sale too. If anybody still wants one.
Shane or Patina, send Shane a video on how to wrap those handles. He might be able to do it better if he did.
It's
Shane,
not.
do you
It's not the video, Kyle. It's my hands. I don't know, man. I'll watch the video if you send it, but
I was just giving him a hard time.
Right. I struggle with that particular motion.
Do you do them wet?
You buy a crew wear electrician splicer or stripper, whatever it's called.
I can't click on that link. Let me see if I can copy it.
Here's the thing, though, man.
CJRB does this.
If you mess
No,
up,
never mind. That's an advertisement.
if you mess up and dig into copper, I don't know any edge that stands up great to copper.
Well, if you know what you're doing, you don't get deep into it. You're not going to get the copper anyway.
I do listen to Limp Bizkit, Patina. You're right.
I like Limp Bizkit.
Well, we're going to work on that soon. Crew wear is best.
You think crew wear would be the best?
It'd be a good option if you don't mind just maintaining it.
Yeah, crew wear would be a good option. I think that Pro Cut would be a good option. Not as good as crew wear, but it would bring the price down a little.
Did you say you had some Pro Cut in?
I got a bunch.
Have you messed with any of it yet?
No, I keep wanting to, but I'm not cutting that shit up and starting to make another batch of knives until
You get these
every
going?
knife I own is the way I want it, and everybody that's been waiting has their knife.
I got you. Selby knives. I don't think there's an H. I think it's Selby.
Oh, Selby.
Let me Google it.
Sorry.
Tina, that's possible, but it also reacts the same as far as like how it cuts. So I'm not sure.
Wow.
That is a wild looking knife.
Their booth is in my Blade Show video. I went to their booth.
What are y'all looking at?
Selby knives.
Oh, I
How
thought
do
you had
you-
it up in here.
How do
it is.
you?
What
I
was
don't think
that?
I'd be able to present something with a.
They got a lineman folder for $400.
A lineman folder for $400.
That's what it says when I roll over it. Lineman knife 160.
Well, that green handled knife looks eerily like a thug, don't it?
Which one? I don't see anything that looks like a
Second
thug.
row, third
This
on.
one?
Well, the handle don't. Never mind.
No.
Folsom toothpick.
Nitro V 7.3, 220. Yeah, I happened to go by their booth and filmed it because there weren't a lot of people around. I'd never heard of them before.
So
But
they
they
make a
seem
bunch of regular knives and then just that electrician's knife.
Yeah, line. It looks like they kind of focus on the
Yeah,
line.
it's a splicer. It's a Hawkbill splicer, is what it is. I mean, that's all a
I'm
lineman
not
knife
mistaken,
is.
y'all. I think Snot Rag's planning on using his Joke Wolf in K390 pretty much as for that same thing for what y'all talking about. I think he's going to use.
You know what? I wonder if that Joke Wolf will fit in this sheath.
It's a small knife
It will. Is that your Lancelot leather sheath?
No, this one.
because he said he doesn't want. I bet it will. He said he doesn't want a sheath. He's going to drop it right in his tool pouch. So we'll see. See how that holds up.
Yeah, he
I can't sit here and say it'll do great at that because I haven't tested it for that kind of usage.
And I'll let
It
you know.
should.
Yeah, it should. I mean, but it's really hard K390, so we'll see.
Here's Selby's Instagram. I'll drop it in here. Nick, what does it tell me to do? This is weird. Have you noticed that StreamYard has gotten weird?
What do you mean?
Like it's changed.
Well, I haven't been on it like a month, so I wouldn't know. I mean, you can tell I'm using Stevie's background and his throat giggle, and I didn't bother changing any of it.
But like if you notice, oh, it won't let me post. If you notice over on the right side, there's a thing called people, and you can go in and you can just other people. I mean, it's all kinds of different controls.
Oh, I don't want to hit it. I'll probably mess something up.
well, you can't do that as a guest. That's only for the moderators. So like on Javon, like I could do it on yours because I have access to that, but I can't on here because I don't have access.
Why don't you have access? You're a mod.
No, that's YouTube mod. I'm talking about through StreamYard.
So I've got Kyle as my other person, like Stevie's got you on there.
I don't think Stevie has me on there. I don't think I have any control on his StreamYard. I can just use it. I could be wrong, though. I don't know. I know I can go in during Stevie's live stream and shut that sumbitch off if I want to.
You got admin control.
Yeah. If I get tired of his shenanigans, I can just end the live stream.
Just go in there and shut her down.
I did it one night by accident. Thought I was leaving studio to end live stream. I was a little scared there for a minute. I really thought Stevie was going to be mad at me.
Oh, that's funny. What I've been doing lately is I'll go to share something and I'll knock myself out of the room. Luckily, I've still got my phone hooked up and Kyle or somebody's in there, but I'll just disappear and realize, oh, I didn't push share. I pushed leave studio.
Oh, it's not yours now. It's ours. I got you. Well,
That
if
was
it's
sweet,
ours,
Stevie.
can I start a petition to boot Maddie then? Would that be acceptable? We'll just boot Maddie out.
Second that petition.
I'm sure we could get enough votes right here in one night.
He's gonna go into hiding after he gets that ass whooped at that nugget eating contest anyway.
So did we decide that's going to be?
You're in the nugget eating contest, Ryan?
Oh gosh,
Yeah, Ron's number
You
2.
guys see my name?
I don't know. I don't see your name. I don't know where this list is. I've been out of touch for 2 or 3
Yeah,
weeks.
take the comment off.
What comment? Oh,
There you go. Right.
future 60 feet nugget. I'll say this: we weren't in an eating contest, and Ryan shocked me. So, if it weren't for the fact that I don't want to spend no more time in the hospital.
Crispy.
I'd love to compete, but I'm gonna put my money on Ryan.
I want to spectate. When's it going to be? Is it going to be this Friday? Or is
I
date still?
forgot they said a date
A
last
week,
night.
a week from this Friday. So 2 weeks from this past Friday.
What was the
Okay.
date?
2
Hey,
weeks
listen,
from
let me tell you something, Ryan. These guys are fucking scammers. They won't tell you the full set of rules until after it's over. You make sure you know exactly what you're getting into.
They're gonna eat half a nugget and throw it on the ground because
Yeah, the fine print you got to look out for, Ryan.
He's gonna have 14 of them hidden in his beard. Yeah. Maddie's gonna have them all pre-soaked in mustards, different mustards. You got to watch these guys, dude. You better make dang sure you know what the rules are.
Now, in fairness, I think pre-soaking them should be fair because I would want mine pre-soaked in hot mustard.
You can't pre-soak them.
Well, not like getting them wet, but like if you like mustard on your nuggets and you can't dry mouth
It's
one.
like I said, I don't care what they do. I'm going to win. It
It
don't
says
matter what
wallet
they do.
connoisseur, Tyler. Not wiener connoisseur. Because he might be a wiener connoisseur. That'd be more Maddie's thing, though, wouldn't it?
Is it going to be 2 rounds or is it going to just be 1 round, first to 60?
I'm a connoisseur of mine.
Stevie was wanting 2 rounds. He was wanting
Like first to 20 and then
first to
somebody's
20 and
eliminated.
then- yeah.
See,
then
like
the
Maddie's
second
saying
round.
sauce is loud. This is what I'm saying. It's hard to get straight answers out of these guys. You need to iron that out before you ever open a box of
Well,
chicken.
Maddie, I would figure sauce
It
is
don't matter.
allowed, but you got to
I
dunk
want
it
them
before
to
you
eat
eat it.
sauce. Dipping those things in sauce is going to slow them down.
I agree, unless
the
it's
sauce.
pre-soaked.
Eat it. It don't matter.
I'd have to have all mine laid out.
I don't care
Stevie's
if you
probably
put the
gonna have
dang
his
things in a
basket
blender and
underneath.
drink them. I'm still going to beat you.
I should say Stevie's probably going to have his pureed so they go down easier.
And funnel them like you used to beer. Just funnel 60 nuggets in just a gelatinous form. Oh God, that's horrible.
Todd Carr, yes, you have. We got to have some water there. Or something.
First of all, why are we calling them pre-soaking nuggets? Why don't we say marinate?
Well,
Recently,
marinate's not what I meant. So I
'Cause I
meant
don't feel like
picture
Nuggies
60 little
deserve the word
packets.
marinate.
Picture
It's not
60
even a real
packets opened and 1 nugget sticking in each packet.
This
So
is
when
what
I'm
I
grabbing
feel
my
like we should
nuggets,
do.
I'm
I
grabbing them
feel like-
directly out of the sauce, so I
Hang
don't
on a
have to make
second,
the
guys.
dip.
Hang on a second. Maddie, have you tried Coleman's mustard from England? Just let me know in the comments because I got a bottle in the refrigerator. I bought some for my wife on Amazon. I was just curious if you tried. That's real English mustard, Coleman's. That's what everybody in England drinks.
So is it a brown mustard?
No, it's a yellow mustard, but it smells like pure horseradish when you open it.
Crispy, that's the Mormons.
You should try. I was going to send you some Coleman's, maybe, but I've been a little broke. I got a bunch of dental work to pay for, so I can't right now. But you should try Coleman's.
So you don't have just USA made mustard in your refrigerator.
Now this is made in England, I think.
Those tea traders.
Gosh,
It is actually
On
English
4th of
mustard.
July weekend of all things, Shane.
man.
English people will tell you that that's real mustard. That shit that we eat is not. So I don't know. I haven't tried it. From the look on her face when she tried it, all she said was, "It's so intense. She doesn't
Soggy
know
nuggets.
she doesn't know how to use a small enough amount of it because it's so intense."
I've seen it before.
I stopped caring about their opinions 250 years ago, Shane.
I did too.
Ooh, check this out, Shane. You can get the Coleman's dry mustard powder.
I don't need it.
You
There's
snort
2
that.
jars in my refrigerator with literally like a gram missing out of one of them, and it'll probably be there 20 years from now because nobody can eat it.
Yeah, it's not for the faint-hearted, it says. Original
Oh,
English mustard from Coleman's will set your taste buds ablaze.
I can't
Yeah.
stand horseradish.
I love horseradish.
that's what's in hot mustard from McDonald's.
I know.
Horseradish.
And I don't
I
eat
think
it.
the hot mustard from McDonald's is about as good as it gets. I love that stuff.
Yeah, but from what I understand, Coleman's is kind of like that without the touch of sweet, and it's way, way stronger.
So they sell it at grocery stores here too, because I've seen it before. I'm assuming they do.
I paid like $12 for two
Yeah,
smallest.
It's $7.68 at Walmart for one.
Yeah.
$3.79 at Kroger for a little one.
I don't imagine you need very much of it.
This is not to piss Maddie off, but this is just a true fact. I'm not a mustard person. I don't like mustard at all.
Well, let me tell you something un-American. I got down at the farm. We're down there shooting machine guns, drinking natural lights. And at the cookout, we had
Roll Tide.
hot dogs and no yellow mustard.
Good.
All we had was ketchup and Dijon mustard.
Neither one of those are good.
Dijon can't go on a hot dog.
And I was like, who the fuck brought Dijon mustard for hot? Well, dude, her family's got more money than they got sense. So somebody was trying to be fancy and brought Dijon mustard.
So, Kyle, do you eat ketchup on your burgers, just no mustard?
I don't eat ketchup on burgers. I don't like ketchup.
Okay. Do you eat them dry?
What do I eat on a burger?
Yeah.
Mayonnaise.
That's disgusting, Kyle.
And
What do
nothing
I-
else?
What do I eat on a hot dog?
Yeah.
Mayonnaise and onions.
Oh, that's disgusting, dude.
And nothing else?
What, on a burger?
On anything like Kyle, you're not American.
Mayonnaise is hardcore. Yeah, I mean that's definitely an interesting palate.
Dude, I put ketchup on ketchup. You know what I'm saying? On ketchup. Like if I get a pizza and it's not very good,
Exactly,
I just put
Patina.
ketchup on.
Show us where it hurt you.
Ketchup sucks.
But I like to put on stuff like pizzas. I like that Louisiana hot sauce.
Yeah.
I like a little of it added to just about everything. See, Stevie, Jervs goes live like late at night too, dude. Because I'm a late night person, and he'll be up live.
Steve, if you're leaving for Gerbs, you go right on in. Have yourself a good time, buddy. We appreciate you. You can celebrate July Canada Day 5 days later.
Not that I'm paralleling this with Jervs, but I guess my atypical brain is. Anybody heard from Hollywood Tactical lately?
No.
Be proud of me, Shane. I was watching a couple of Sharif's newest videos, and the one about anti M390,
Yeah.
and of course, you know who was in there trolling?
Who?
Tactical Center.
Oh, really?
And dude,
That guy can go fuck himself. If
I typed out I literally had typed out like 4.5 pages of
dissertation.
Yeah, and it was mean. Don't get me wrong, it was mean. And then you'd be proud of me, Shane. I looked at it and I was like, this isn't worth the back and forth. I just ignored it and I deleted it.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna go hard in the paint. Like I
tried so hard too because he would come on my live sometimes and say some things I totally agreed with, but then I'd post a video and I'd read the comment and I was like, did you even type this in the right video? I mean, none of it ever made sense. Like one of my videos I posted, he's like, this is a horrible review. You didn't show the knife for the first 7 minutes. And the knife was on screen in 17 seconds. Like nothing he ever said made sense in my comments.
Well, first of all,
I realized that everything that he does say that makes sense, he is copied word for word from Brian Kim. It's like he just whatever Brian Kim says, he says, and that's all he knows.
But the other part about it is he's so condescending and arrogant about. Like I don't know how someone can be that wrong about shit and be confident about it.
Right. Well, it's because Brian said it, so he knows it's right. He just doesn't always use it in the right context.
No, I mean he was saying just completely and utter bullshit in Sharif's post. Like I'm
gonna have to go find the comment. What's this guy's name?
Tactical Center.
I've never heard of him. All right, let me find Sharif. McGonis. I remember that video. That was a good video. Sharif has a great way of putting information out there.
Wouldn't it like let M390 die or something like that?
Yeah.
What's up, Brent?
Super Steel Steve had a little argument, but he wouldn't. Or Sharif offered to reach out and talk, and he wouldn't have it.
Well, I get that because when I read the title, I reacted the same way. But I also agree that Sharif is correct. I think they should let it die because it's very clear at this point that nobody's going to do it right. So just quit fucking using it.
Exactly.
20
Yeah,
M390, 204p, just fucking let them die because nobody's willing to do it right. So just let it go.
And there are better options for the price.
Right.
M390 and 20 CV are actually slightly more than MagnaCut currently.
And I wouldn't have an issue having it. I'd love to make some fixed blades in M398, but I don't. It's just like I'd love to make some in CPMD2, but I don't want to try to overcome this stigma that China has created by making their own steels and calling them something else, and YouTubers lying to you about it. So
This is exactly how you get.
hats off to YouTube channels for fucking running those steels.
I'm scrolling these comments. It's awesome to see so many comments in here. Where is it?
But yeah, after the end of the day, I was realizing, I'm like, is this, because this isn't going to be one response. It's going to be some snarky comeback, and I'm just going to go off again.
I can almost see word for word what Steve was going to say. Well, why run it soft to make it tough when it's not a tough steel to begin with? And he's right.
Correct.
All that's right. So, what I don't think Steve realizes is he's proving Sharif's point.
So we talking about tactical center?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are wrong. Your opinions don't matter. Only facts matter. It's true that 60 HRC M390 is garb, but 6162 is better than MagnaCut altogether. 60 RC secondary hardening is also very good. And somebody MagnaCut isn't even that good. You're not even a user. Well, that is condescending.
Well, the fact that he doesn't know shit, and he can't tell the difference between 60 and 61. He's saying 60 is hot garbage and 61 and 62 is good. You put two of them in front of him, and I give him 5 freebies, and he could not get 7 out of 10 right. Guessing.
No.
He could start with 5 free points, and he would never get to 7 out of 10. Correct.
I think he's somebody we actually know. I think it's like an alter ego.
I don't know. He's an idiot.
Yeah.
You got to just DM him.
I have.
Javon, that was the whole point of me not posting something. I just don't want to waste brain power on a dumbass.
Yeah.
I'll whoop his ass.
Peanut Butter Beans got an interesting take.
In here one night that I was tired of him. Yeah.
There's some good comments though. There's some pretty interesting. Maddie, meow. That's Maddie's comment. Interesting stuff.
Absolutely not. Dude, their M390 was horseshit.
Whose was?
Tucson.
I think he's saying for what it was worth, though.
Oh, for price point. Yeah, I mean, if you're selling it for $100 to $110 in titanium,
it was horrible.
Yeah, the steel itself sucks.
Those are S90.
What do y'all think about the M390 MK? Do you think Microtech's putting any more? I mean, I guess it's all in the heat treat.
Marketing bullshit.
Yeah, it's the same shit.
And no, they're not doing it. Microtech has never done excellent heat treats. I get it at this point. I'm tired of arguing about it. I'm tired. I don't like hurting people's feelings about it. I understand why it is the way it is, but none of these companies heat treat it to where it needs to be, and I understand why. So
just because of the scale and their ovens not being able to be consistent when you're doing that much.
It's because a guy like me that makes 5 knives at a time can't talk shit about a company that's making thousands a year, and if you save a couple of dollars a knife, well, they make more than thousands. But anyway, if you save a couple of bucks a knife, that's more than I'll make in a year. That savings. So I get it. I understand, but
you're growing up.
Yeah,
this is impressive.
Yeah.
I feel like we crossed a milestone.
But I get it.
No, and I agree.
I mean, Kyle, you guys have all been there during my live streams, watching me trying to stretch a 36 grit belt further than it should have to go, and I wouldn't have those issues if I was running lower HRC.
Yeah, it'd be much easier for you to do your job.
But I'm willing to do that because I want the better knife. Better for what I'm making it for. So
it'll be interesting to see if any of those companies come out and really start nailing heat treats. Who was the one that was allegedly, I know Kung Wu's not a happy name, but aren't they one that was getting some kind of higher HRCs for their steels, or was it a different company?
No, they were early on. They were doing some unique steels and some pretty good heat treats. And
I never saw anybody test them though.
They sharpened up nicely. I never had a problem sharpening them. but they weren't like, they didn't feel like okay. They did a, oh God, I can't remember the name of the model, but they did one that was in, oh, I was gonna have was it PM1? I don't know, they did one steel that they were supposedly running at 66, 67, right? And it felt nothing like a hard K390 or a Rex 121 or anything like that. Do I think it was hard? Yeah, I don't think it was as hard as they said, but I have other moral issues against them, not about their heat treats. But I think that giving the opportunity to use different steels at different ranges is a good thing. So I commend them for that, but the rest of it can go to hell.
Yeah.
So do you think it'll be up to the individual designer to push that envelope to see who, or do you think it'll be somebody like Kaiser or somebody else who even takes the time to hang their hat on doing heat treats better than their competitors? Or do they have competitors?
Yeah, PM60, Chad.
I don't think they give a shit. They sell too many knives to carry.
Right, exactly. And that's what I was going to say. And at what point have you bought in to give them trust that is correct?
True. You just wonder
You
if
look at when Kaiser has used, exotic steels, and they've always
Yeah, they did that harpoon.
Yeah,
what,
10V.
10V, 1 and 2.
garbage. Yeah. But that's just, that's production. The American production companies are slightly better about that, but not a whole lot.
No, I mean, so like as much credit as we give to Spyderco,
they're still below.
Yeah, they're still soft compared to what Ideal is,
Right.
but they're better than other people.
Yeah.
Is there
no longer
any...
than I've been doing it. You send me a piece of steel and anything Spyderco makes, and I can do a better heat treat than what you're going to get from Spyderco. I can walk Ryan.
Is that just because they're doing so much?
Yeah.
Or is there
I
any...
can walk Ryan into the shop and tell him what buttons to mash, and Brian could do a better heat treat on S90V than Spyderco. Spyderco's S90V is 2 to 3 points lower than it should be.
Could it be because their blade geometry is so thin?
It's 2 to 3 points higher than everybody else's is. That's why we praise Spyderco for doing good. We're not praising them for doing great. We're just praising them for being better than everybody else. But the numbers are still lower than what they could be.
And if I'm not mistaken, they're not doing that all in-house either.
Yeah.
No, the heat treats I don't think are done in-house, are they?
I read they weren't.
I think they're outsourced, so therefore they're giving parameters to what they want to be in and hit these numbers. So again, where's that control? And then also, what is that company willing to be comfortable doing for you?
Well, don't you think some of these bigger heat treat companies have to have the capacity or the capability to do it?
Bigger heat treat companies?
Well, like Peters, I mean, they do other things besides just blades.
What other one?
There's got to be others that are heat treating metal besides knife blade. I don't know them. I'm asking.
That's the problem.
Right.
Because there's not enough of them for there to be any competitive motivation to do it better. There's lots of people who heat treat. There's a place close to here that heat treated. I called them about heat treating. They were willing to heat treat my knives as long as I come in there and taught them how. Because they didn't understand anything about the protocol, because it was nothing like the parts that they normally do.
Oh,
really?
There's not that many people willing to fuck with a knife is the problem. There's not enough money in knives.
When they've...
And a lot of them don't do stainless, the heat treaters.
Yeah.
They'll do carbon steels all day long, but they won't do stainless.
Yeah, I called this place. They do heat treats for aerospace shit up in Huntsville. When I mentioned S90V, they didn't have a clue what I was talking about. So I would bring a piece up here and walk us through it. We could do it. Shit, I might as well do it myself. That's the case.
Well, not if it's as simple, like you said, as...
So they would heat treat just a handful of knives for you.
They were willing to talk about it, but when I said I'm a small knife maker, I don't know what that translated to them. I don't know if they thought I was talking about 5 knives at a time. I could be doing 500 knives at a time and still be a small knife maker.
Yeah,
I don't
you're
know.
exactly right.
We never got to that point. We never got
What
that.
constitutes small?
That's the issue with like that type of shop or like a machine shop. So like if I wanted to have custom Timasca screws made and I bought a block and wanted to take them to a machine shop, they're not going to make 6 screws for me. I mean,
Right.
it's not worth their time to set it up to tooling, even if they got it to a slave and all that.
They'd literally lose $1,000 in the time it took them to make those screws for you.
That's my point. So the MOQ on something has to be worth their time, and that's not going to be conducive for.
I do stuff at the shop all the time that I'm losing money because I'm doing it, but I do it because I want to.
Right.
But I can only imagine what someplace like that with payroll and insurance and all that shit.
It's expensive.
Yep. That was my point, though. It's hard to get in the door with a small quantity on anything, that type of.
You know what? Y'all know what it costs to have one knife heat treated at Peters? If you wanted to make your own knife, you shaped out your blank and mailed it off to Peters. Do you want to know what it costs to have one knife heat treated?
$30.
$74.
I thought it was 30, 35.
Nope, $74 for the first one.
They went up then.
Holy smokes!
Then the next one is like $30, and then everyone after that's like 10. Then after you reach a certain number, everyone after those are like 5. It gets cheaper and cheaper as you go. That first one's $74.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew the first one was high.
And I'll heat treat you damn knife for free, and nobody's taking me up on it. I ain't received the first piece of steel in the mail. You know.
Absolutely, Tina.
Turco heat treat.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there, Patina. Even with my little small oven, if I was willing to sit at that shop for 50, 60 hours a week, I could probably heat treat small parts for somebody and make more money than I ever could making knives. Just with my little tiny oven. Because I guarantee there's machine shops that would much rather be milling parts than babysitting a heat treat oven.
Yeah, but can you imagine Meathead bitching about that power bill? 60 hours a week.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Definitely.
Have y'all ever heard of a steel called Cowry X? COWRYX?
No.
The Spyderco steel. So Spyderco does heat treat some knives in their Golden, Colorado facility, especially the USA made models. They use a Japanese heat treater for their Taiwanese and Japan knives. But regardless of where heat treatment is performed, this is by Google's AI. Spyderco ensures consistent quality by checking random samples of blades at the factory. I'm sure they don't. But then it says
their Japanese heat treat company is better than their American.
And it says some steels like Cowry X, ZDP 189, and SG2 often require proprietary heat treats that are specifically done by approved Hitachi vendors.
That's shit from like the 1980s, 90s.
Okay, I'm just saying I don't know where it's from. I'm just saying that's what the crazy AI is pulling up.
There is no such thing as a special heat treat. There is a temperature, there is a time, and there's a
protocol.
Well, those are the variables.
That's all there is to any of them. There's no magic dance. There's no magic dust. There's time.
Right, but there's a protocol to and if some steels, especially
that is the protocol. Time,
right.
temperature.
On my point, that's you're still following instructions as far as that. It's not secret, but like I mean, you definitely can screw it up by over tempering and that kind of stuff.
Oh, absolutely, you can.
I mean,
yeah,
it's kind of like just a series of steps, like a recipe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a series of steps. But unlike baking a cake, when you mix all that stuff together, you go to stirring it and you get a phone call and you can walk off and come back 10 minutes later and continue stirring. You can't do that with heat treat.
No, it's got to be all.
You have to dedicate that time to it and do everything right now, exactly by the protocol right now. There's no time in between anything because you're talking about stuff on a molecular, I can't say that word, level shit's moving and bonding and changing. And as soon as you stop, it fucking stops and freezes in time, and it's over.
And that's why you've got to, I guess, quench it and do the stuff that you do to
Exactly.
freeze that process wherever it is.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Lots of hot rod guys pay gold money for cryo too. Cryo and what? You're probably, yeah, because that shop that I take my knives to get HRC, it's a hot rod shop, and they've got heat treat ovens, and they HRC test everything.
For
I don't know
pipes
what
and
they're
stuff
doing.
like that.
There's like big blocks sitting around everywhere, and like people don't even know they're there. Ryan, you've heard of Texas Speed, right? It's all over the internet. Texas Speed makes all these LS heads. Do you know where all that started?
Mm-mm.
Marty Witt. Marty Witt, right there, owns this mechanic shop in Sutton Bridge Road. Used to own Alabama Cylinder Head. He created the flow charts.
Alabama Cylinder Head.
Yeah, he created the flow charts for those LS heads and started Patriot Performance. Patriot Performance, he had all that. Hugh Baskin robbed him of all that and sold the blueprints for those flow charts on those heads to Texas Performance. So all these hot rod parts coming out of Texas Performance are all Marty Witt's design.
Texas Speed Shop makes some of the best engines.
Yeah, because they're using
Yeah.
Marty Witt's. Marty's the one when Pinks came to Etowah County. They were looking for two local guys to race for pink slips. Marty's the one that won that, and nearly a bone stock Mustang with a set of his ported heads.
Shane, Matt Carricker was running those Texas Speed Shop engines.
All that started right here in Etowah County, Alabama. Marty's still got the blueprints. He can build the heads, but he can't build them and sell them.
Did it
But
get ugly?
It all worked out because Hugh went out of business, and now Marty's a multi-millionaire and turns wrenches for a living because he enjoys it.
That's good.
I'm gonna be turning wrenches tomorrow as I take that carburetor apart.
I want to see that so bad.
I do too. I want to see Swan.
I got my 10 millimeter ready, baby. I'm gonna
You
go.
better have
down.
2 of them.
Yeah,
Yeah, you better have a few of them things.
Oh, it's gonna be something.
Yeah, you know what I think? I think somewhere out in the Pacific Northwest, Sasquatch is walking around with 147 10 millimeter sockets in his pocket because can't nobody find either one of them.
With Javon's memory, he's going to need to buy a baker's dozen of them just to get started.
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt. No, I've got a little pad out back that I can work on it on. I think it's going to go. Again, I've watched so much content, and it's short content. They're 10-minute videos, and I can't see many things that I would even fuck up unless something's stuck and I can't get it out.
I think if I know you well enough, I think you've watched enough content. You should be able to make it happen.
I hope so. We'll see.
And it's probably just a tiny little piece of rust or a tiny little piece of trash stuck in the jet, causing it not to run.
Yeah, because it's not one that hadn't been running all season, right? It's just started getting rough, and now it's just fucking with me.
Yeah.
I honestly think, Javon, that you probably don't need to change the carburetors. More than likely, if you change the spark plug, the air filter, and make sure the oil levels are good, it should be fine. Those things are pretty maintenance free for the first 5 years.
Yeah.
So if my oil level's still good, would you still add oil to it without doing a change? Because I haven't
I
watched those
wouldn't pull
videos.
on that cord. I wouldn't turn a single wrench unless the oil was dead on the full mark. I mean, it just makes no sense because I've seen too many people work on them for hours only to realize the oil was a little too low. The
Right.
very first thing you should do is get the oil right dead on the full mark, put a new spark plug in it, and see if it runs.
That's what I was
Don't
wondering.
work,
Steve.
then move forward.
And Javon, too, on yours, if it's the same model I'm thinking of, like on mine, we're basically the same years on makes. You don't change the oil. There's no oil plug to drop it.
It burns enough.
Yeah,
You just add a little bit.
You just add. Yeah, you don't change it. You just add.
So how do you? I mean, I know where the little stick comes out, and I guess it's got a line on it, so you just add a little at a time, because you don't want to over add it.
Yeah, they don't hold a whole lot. So
Yeah.
don't go glug 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 glug.
Don't go
Is
what?
it- Is it
Glug,
a
glug, 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 glug.
530? What's the weight that you usually use? Or is it just a special lawnmower oil? I'll find it tomorrow.
It's not special. It's just regular. It's 10W.
It'll run on anything. It'll run on fucking cooking oil, but if you got motor oil, put that in it. Check on your switch and wire too. Yeah, I don't know if that one has the on-off switch.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's just got the little bar that you pull up and it engages the.
Well, yeah.
It's funny. Ironically, it's a 2-start mower, a 2-pull mower. So it's supposed to be an easy start, and it has been an easy start for 3 years.
It's probably because you didn't put any stable in the gas tank. Gas may be bad.
I started putting stabilizer in it last year, but that's my problem.
What is?
The fact that I haven't been doing my season maintenance, like draining the tank each year. That's what I should do. You should drain your tank. Ron Crow, is that the little small hollow point? If so, I have tried that at a Blade Show. I sat with Lute and checked it out. Let me Google it.
What are you talking about? What's up with the floating heads?
What the hell are you talking about, Mills?
I know mine's almost off the camera, but
What are you on tonight, Paul?
ain't
Amazon
got no
Games.
gas in it. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have checked out the one
Eat you a
morning.
mustard biscuit before you work on that lawnmower, Javon?
What's that?
You gonna get up in the morning and eat you a mustard biscuit before you work on that lawnmower?
Biscuit and gravy, baby, and a bunch of hash browns.
Gotta be a
Ron
mustard.
Crow, I have handled it. It's super light. It's got an awesome little hollow grind, and I liked it a lot. Front top flipper.
Same, Crispy. I use it to mulch leaves in the fall.
Yeah, and that's I should have done that too.
Yeah, gas definitely goes bad. You can smell it. It starts to smell like.
Are there gas stations that you can still get ethanol-free gas? I know
Yeah.
there's additives that you can put in there that'll take it out.
They're everywhere, dude. It's about
Yeah.
20 cents more a gallon to get pure gas.
I've got one that's a few miles from me. That's all I run in my small engine.
Well, we used to have one at Texaco down the street that's now not a Texaco because the hospital's expanded here so much. But I haven't seen one because usually they have it marked out there by it. And that's where all the landscapers fill up.
They're down inside the cemetery.
What's that? Well, I
We're at
guarantee you they've got it up.
GPS taking us through the cemetery run.
I can't believe it.
There's
busted.
on your backhoes and shit. There's people
You
buried.
had to have it set to shortest
He's just
distance.
rolling through there.
Yeah, you had to have it set to shortest distance because you would have had to turn off California, get in the cemetery to come up because it was just taking you to my house. That's funny,
Narrow road too. My big old truck.
man. And those curbs are high.
Yeah, that cemetery was not made for a Denali.
No, it's made for
there.
buggies. I mean, when that thing was, especially the part y'all came through, when it was laid out for buggies and pedestrians.
Brian just driving through there honking. People get out the way, and people are trying to have a funeral. I got Javon to pick up. Move.
People were looking at us a little funny.
Hey, we were riding in style though.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
pretty sure I rolled over a headstone or two when I passed that car that was out there.
Yeah, that'll be all right.
Man, if you ever want to do something weird,
They didn't feel it.
every October, about 2 weeks before Halloween, they have the cemetery stroll. And back in the Civil War area, and where all the like senators and stuff are buried, they'll have people dressed up in period pieces, playing the character of the dead person, talking about what they did, what their role in history was. Because I mean, this cemetery has some historic figures, like old school figures.
What character do you play?
I don't ever go through there. I'm creeped out by the cemetery. I'll go through there during the day because I cut through it to go to my mom's because she lives right on the other side. But I don't do cemeteries.
You look like you could be a general or colonel.
You live at a cemetery. What do you mean you don't do cemetery?
I grew up when I was a kid. I grew up on the other side of the cemetery. I used to meet a young lady that I dated in the cemetery to make out. But I don't do the cemetery anymore. I don't hang out in there.
Javon could play Colonel Sanders. That's who he should play.
I could see Colonel Sanders.
He's got the beard.
You guys should see me with short hair. I'm one haircut away.
It's time to end the live stream, yawn. I'm getting sleepy.
So you running down to the shop tomorrow morning, or you got a busy day doing something else?
If I can't get that guy to laser these knives tomorrow, I'm gonna freak the fuck out. I wanted to mail them Friday, and I couldn't get them lasered. Now that gun store is moving to Boaz.
Jared's is moving.
Yes, he's closing that store and moving
Wow.
everything to Alabama Firearms Academy in Boaz.
He just built that place not long ago, didn't
He owns the building in Boaz.
he? Yeah.
He's leasing that storefront in Rainbow City or Southside.
I thought he built that building right there.
I thought he did too because his parents' business is right beside it.
Yeah.
No, you don't own that. And according to him, products flying off shelves in Boaz, and it's not doing so great in Rainbow City, so he's moving.
What kind of drive's that? 30 minutes?
Yeah, but that's not the point. The point is every time I go to do this, I have to go there 4 or 5 times before it gets done, and he won't. And he doesn't communicate on the phone very well. So it's really stressing me out that it's going to be that far away. I wasn't stressed out about driving 10 minutes to find out he couldn't do it. But I don't know. I got to figure something out.
It'll work out, dude.
Yeah.
We'll figure something out. I'm sure there are other people that can do the same thing.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway, I got to go do that in the morning because I got people's stuff I've got to get shipped out.
I got to do a show and tell on this tonight and then take this stuff back at 10 o'clock in the morning.
It's also stressing me out a little that he wasn't charging me. So, if I had to start paying for it, that kind of sucks.
Well, I mean, and then it comes down to what does it take to cut? What kind of laser do you have to have?
I don't know. Chap's got a laser, but I don't think Chap can do it. I think it's one of his business partners that knows how. I don't know. I got to figure
I've seen the graphics in there, right? And a computer make that.
Yeah, it pretty much does it all on its own. I think the difference is the laser Chap has got will laser etch it, where this laser that Jared's has got actually laser engraves it.
Ah.
Would I be okay with a laser etch? I don't know until I see it. So,
Yeah.
like Steve Kalari's knives aren't engraved; they're etched. So, an etching may be just fine.
Well, you can feel the depth in that one you've got, right, with your thumb.
Yeah, you can feel it. It's literally engraved into the steel. You can watch it. You can watch like flames come off of it when it's doing it.
And there's several people you can talk to. So does Steve have those done in Gainesville, or does he do it with the tool that he's got?
Steve does it with a saline solution and a power supply.
And then just a template that he does it through, or like a hard template?
A template and a little sponge stamp. He just sits there and pats it with it, and it turns black. But I've seen Steve ruin knives doing it too. Because some of that solution might bleed over, and there'll be a little etched mark out beside it that's not supposed to be there. So anyway, I'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You figured everything else out, and you're killing it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I just, I got to put my foot down tomorrow. It's either going to be, hey, you're going to tell me exactly when we can do this, or I can't do it. So anyway, I want to get off here. Got plenty to do tomorrow.
Good seeing you guys.
Y'all too. I appreciate y'all coming on, and appreciate y'all, everybody that's here being patient. I know I hadn't been on in a couple of weeks, but yeah, maybe we get things back in order now. All right.
All right, kids.
All right, guys.
Peace.
Later.
End stream.